What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Fun with Dumb. I am your host, Dumbfoundead, and I am joined here with my regular group and cast of Fun with Dumb. Right here, I'm joined by Rick Lee.
It's good to be here.
How you doing? How you feeling, man?
A little conflicted. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. All right. Mr. Rekstizzy, how you feeling? Why you Rekstizzy, how you feeling?
Shady cosplay. I'm doing good, you know. It's a crazy time, but you know, trying to keep my head up.
Yeah. How about you, Tony K?
I'm all right, man. It's been a very weird month, and yeah, man. We're just trying to get through it.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it.
Start off with some good news. All 4 arrested now. You know about that?
All 4 officers who took part in the murder of George Floyd just got taken into custody. That was breaking news, right? I don't know the details. So what happened? This was like an hour or two ago.
All I know is Chauvin's charge upgraded to second-degree murder.
They did. Okay.
And 3 other officers were apprehended.
Nice. Okay, that is great news.
Thank God.
Steps, you know.
This is breaking news. So if you're watching this later, just know that this just happened.
Yeah.
We just found about it. I was rushing out the house when it came on the news. So
Right.
And since the George Floyd murder from these officers, there's been an uproar in this country, something we've seen over and over again. It's almost like an anniversary situation, almost monthly or weekly or whatever, daily.
Yeah.
And we've reached this boiling point, but this feels like the movement is even bigger than your usual rallies that happen in the city in the murder or death. This is like really reached boiling point. I saw like a march and protest going on in New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know,
every
South
state,
America.
every state in the United States.
Every state, 50 states, all states.
50 states.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Even the super racist ones are like, we got to do something about this. I don't know why that. I don't know why that accent came to mind, but yeah.
Even in France,
bro,
you know?
50 states.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
God,
And then
damn.
Asia too. Like
That's
there's
crazy.
protests going on all over the world for
Alaska
what's
was
going on
like,
in
we
America.
gotta.
Yeah.
Alaska was like, we gotta do something.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing in this post sadness, you know, a
Right.
lot of mourning still it needs to happen because it's fucking fresh.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize. This thing is really fucking fresh. Like it just happened, and then a lot of organizing happened, which is actually that's the beautiful thing to see.
For sure.
The organizing, and that's one thing I really respect about the black community with their movements and protests and marches.
Yeah.
They've been organized for a very, very long time since civil rights movement.
Wait. Can I just someone counted all Virgil states for the
I like
All
how
Virgil states.
I like how a meme came out of this whole Black Lives Matter movement, which was Virgil Abloh, Off-White
$50
designer for Gucci,
Yikes.
donated $50 to the Black Lives Matter movement. And I'm, dude, first of all, I'm not holding him accountable.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whatever. That's and to be fair, he was participating in a challenge. Somebody donated $50, got passed on to him. Is like, I donated 50, pass it on. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if he donated like a 50K, well, probably if he donated 50K, there'll be some celebrities who would have stepped up and been like, I take that 50K challenge.
He didn't really challenge himself.
He didn't challenge himself with the challenge, I gotta say. He didn't challenge himself with the challenge, I
He met
gotta
the
say.
prerequisites, you know?
He's like, I'm gonna obey the challenge rules.
He
It
could
said
have been like, I'll
$50.
see that 50, and I turn it to 5,000 or 50,000.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's like, strictly guidelines, $50 flat. But whatever. That's beyond that. But that's funny. They made a meme joke. Okay. But that's what happened. And right now, a lot of the beautiful thing is every community is stepping up.
For sure.
Every community. There's mad white people, obviously. There's mad Latinos, black people, all at these marches. I definitely would like to see more Asians participate in these protests.
Yeah.
And that's truth. And we're going to go into that more. I just know because we've been to these protests and we've seen a lack of representation with Asians.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
It's like one Asian out of like 50 or 100 even.
right. Yeah. Is that what you, when I went was kind of the same numbers. Let me not, there are Asians out there and they're speaking up on social media and stuff. I'm
sure.
strictly talking about social media, the protests.
Right.
When you go there, there's
Yeah, yeah.
very, very small amount of Asian people represented over there. Social media is going off.
Right, yeah. Oh, no.
But even on social media, there is this other side of Asian people.
Right.
Maybe we should just jump into that right now.
Do it, man.
I have seen something that's very ugly, and I think a lot of ignorance. I'm not going to just say ugly. There's a lot of ignorance right now with a lot of the Asian community in my DMs, and also we've just seen two sides.
Right.
And I feel like this is a very dangerous situation because what I've been seeing with that other side who is not showing solidarity and kind of being like, yo, where were they for us when we went through COVID and there was bullying of Asian people? I see that becoming a very dangerous situation. I feel like that's going to be a group of Asian Americans years from now.
Right.
That right wing, it's going to turn into something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That resentment is going to turn into something ugly and even more dangerous. It's going to turn into a fucking movement. It's going to turn into the Proud Boys.
All right,
stop
all right, chill.
All right.
Whoa!
I just see it.
Like writing the manifesto right now. I was like ready.
No, I see it. Because think about all these. Okay.
No.
You know certain comedians and celebrities that we used to follow, like these white dudes who used to be very left and liberalist.
Yeah.
And then they became like these extra, like Gavin McGinnis and who
right.
started Vice.
Okay.
And now he's
Tequila.
Tequila.
Yeah.
You know, these are people who are like liberals.
Yeah.
You know, and they turned on him.
Right.
And I feel like
you feel the brewing. You feel
I
like
see
the
it
early brewing.
I hella see the early brewing,
For
bro.
sure. For sure.
And if we don't educate, which I've been doing, I haven't been like fuck off. Like I haven't. That's not what I've been doing. I've been trying to really have a reasonable, talk. And I'll be honest, I'm not the most well-spoken dude to kind of explain this.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like I'm not explaining it the best way. You know what I'm saying? My wording is not good. I'm the type of dude who writes emails with "yo" as the subject.
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
I'm that motherfucker. I'm that dude.
I sign off with a frog emoji.
yeah.
I'm like,
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But we know the general idea of what we needed to tell them.
Right.
And we want to obviously talk about it here, and we also want to get calls, maybe people who are more educated in this to call in.
You know what it's all about? It's like bubbles, man. Like we're in our own bubble. That's why it's kind of hard not to we're shocked by seeing these Asians reacting like this because we're in our bubble of more progressive, and all our friends know this is the right cause and all that shit, right? And support. But then we fail to realize not everybody's like that. And even within our own fans and shit, we're like, yo, you fuck with me. How can you not think, our thinking isn't aligned?
And even while being woke, even as myself, there are things that sometimes I'm oblivious to. You know what I mean? Just because I'm aware of it and we're kind of forward thinking and more progressive than other Korean Asian, brothers and sisters, there's things that I still fall short too. Like even in this group, so definitely I think dialogue is very important.
Where do you fall short?
I just like little things. I mean, like
in
little
the bedroom
things like
department.
microaggressions or just unnecessary or like subconscious like racism. You know what I'm talking about? Just subtle movements, like subtle things like that. There are times where I have to check myself.
Are you talking about that post you made?
I mean, that was short-sighted of me for sure, but that wasn't, it wasn't out of malicious intent.
Absolutely.
I think I think the thing is, privilege has become such a norm to so many groups of people.
Yeah.
We don't even look at it like privilege. It's that's how the world works to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doritos.
But I'm
Doritos
saying,
is
we in that bubble, and that's why it's important. It's like once we say it. Like once we put out those posts or whatever, and then we start to see oh fuck, it actually
Cool
does make
Ranch
a
flavor.
difference.
People get affected by those things.
Because we speak out, then we start to see who's really out there, who's how are people thinking, and the thing is they're in their own bubble, and then just like that, the what you're talking about with these people maybe one day becoming this whole other thing. It's because they can go out there and just say some racist ass shit, and as much as we clown them and then mad people shit on them, there's a whole other bubble there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just
shared knowledge.
You're fucking smart. You.
And it hypes them up. You know what
Let
I
me-
mean?
Exactly.
And it
They're
validates
fuck
them.
it.
No, for sure.
I got my community now.
Exactly.
But I think that's what this moment is about.
But that's why if you push that community away, they're gonna join this crazy other community.
Right.
You want
gotta
them,
make
and
allies.
you actually want to make them your ally, man. Because that community is you're gonna give them strength. You're throwing another person that could be joining you in power and numbers into that community.
Yeah. It's because at the end of the day, it's is it our like, like how is it people's responsibility to like keep holding people's hands and educating, right?
Right.
And like they can be angry. Like yesterday, right? When I was outside at the protest, like I saw like this older white lady. She was holding a painting of like a black girl and a white girl, and it said all lives matter.
Yeah.
And then like you could kind of tell she was out there to support,
Good intention.
Right.
but she didn't know what
She
the
didn't
fuck
know-
she was
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
She's a little
Like
older.
she didn't really get it. She was tone deaf.
Yeah. So like, I get why people were mad when they saw that, but then like somebody threw a water bottle at her, and then she was like literally like it hit the painting, and then she was like what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm here to support. Why the fuck are you mad at me? Because they just don't know. But it could have been better if we were like, yo, that's not the move. That's not the. It's taken away from this Black Lives Matter.
You know what
shit.
it is though? Here's the thing. The problem is that people at this, we expect people to know now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I have young Asian kids hit me up being like, fuck that, they weren't here there for us and all this shit. And they're angry about that. When I sent my mom a transcribed Korean resource thing where it explains Black Lives Matter, and 5 minutes later she gets it.
Yeah.
There's an issue there, bro.
For sure.
There's a fucking issue there. Like,
Sure.
Because it's always like, oh, our parents might be more racist.
yeah.
But then it's like they get it right away, and then it's like fucking the next generation, they think they're mad. They're like college educated. They think they're mad smart, but they some smart dumb motherfuckers.
Smart dumb motherfucker.
There's a bunch of Asians right now. The first reaction, right, is like, let's get on the rooftop with guns, just like the 1992 riots.
Right.
Without even considering, like, maybe I should go and see what the root of the problem is. Go to a march, listen to some people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how 28 years later the riots happen again. The protests happen again. Nothing gets fixed in the communities,
There's
bro.
no elevated way
Nothing.
of thinking.
Yeah, before we keep going though, I
Yeah.
just want to say that the painting that the white lady held, it was so bad though.
Okay.
Shout out Nami. I'm not saying this.
No,
I
but
want
that,
if she had to get a water bottle for the art, the art was so weird.
I would say that's probably why they were more mad. If the painting was fire, she might not have gotten the water bottle thrown at her ass. You know what I'm saying?
My friend that I was with, we were just like, "What is that?" And that's the first thing that came to my mind. I didn't even see the All Lives Matter yet. I saw the painting, and we were both like, "That is a whack painting."
Bro, if somebody draws you, and they're not, Asian or they're not black, and they draw you,
it could be offensive.
it could look super racist,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
It's like, why are my eyes that tight?
Those are slits.
You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
you gotta be careful how you draw
For
ethnic
sure.
people, bro. You gotta be careful.
Nah, but I agree, man. Like, it's like everything's about the generalization and taking isolated situations and saying this is a whole group of people. You know, like when it comes to police brutality, it's our job to also understand that not all cops are like this. You know, this is a small group of people. Same thing with the coronavirus. When people were attacking the Asians, it wasn't all black people attacking Asians. It was a small
Exactly.
group.
That's
So
one thing I want to clarify.
These isolated situations, we have to kind of challenge ourselves to zoom out and understand that, this is I'm not even saying small percentage. It could be a medium percentage, but it's unfair to group everyone as one and be like, yo, how come when they were attacking us during COVID, you're going to help them back? It's like, dude, that's not how, the fixing and healing works.
And also, let me tell you this. There's a lot of talk and no action. These people hitting me up about where were black people when Asians were getting attacked post-COVID. Where the fuck were you pre-COVID when black people been getting killed for a traffic stop, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't. I don't understand where the audacity of that pisses me off,
we
bro.
need to start thinking more of all of us as one body, a true unity. We have to start thinking in unification like that, because if we have isolated, this, that, anytime some tragedy happens, what usually tends to happen in the comment section is when someone is trying to stand up for it or trying to cure it, they're like, well, we went through and there's like a pity competition. They're like, oh no, we went through this, you don't even know what it feels
the
like.
oppression Olympics, right?
Yeah, you Asians don't know what this feels like. And when we say that, we don't have the right to fight back and be like, well, because it is it's a different
And
scale of
yeah,
things.
exactly. And let me clarify that too. For all these Asians asking these questions about where was this, where was that, this one thing is going to be a reality check for you, for a lot of y'all, which shouldn't be. The Asian struggle and the black experience is miles apart.
Miles apart.
It's fucking miles apart. And you guys have to fucking understand that. That thing that Nikki Park influencer said about how when she got pulled over, she was scared for her life because the cop was going to kill her. David So said already covered this, but dude, it is the most bullshit fucking thing I've ever heard, bro.
Yeah.
You know that shit.
I don't believe that.
Oh my god.
I've never driven around in
she was
America.
like probably at like Arena nightclub and just fucking drunk as fuck, and then that's why the cops like, did some shit.
If she thought if she was scared for her life, it was because the cop was black and she was saying everything she did in that IG story. That's real shit. That's why it's because she was saying racist shit to a black cop. That's probably why she was threatened for her life. Dude, that is the most ridiculous fucking thing. Those are two different experiences, and people cannot stop comparing those two experiences together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, during Black Lives Matter, you cannot bring this Asian struggle into it. It's two different things. And it's not like we're not taking away from those struggles at all, man. And it's going to continue in our community. And that community.
Yeah, and that's why it's important for us to speak out, because we're Asian and we had those struggles too.
Exactly.
And we're also saying like, nah, dude, like, yo, I saw this video of basically like 3 different generations.
I saw that.
Of like this older black dude, and then one that's a little bit younger, and then there was a teen, and they were having like it was crazy because they all had kind of different experience and like views on it.
It kind of
one guy was like, yo, it's been going on for so long, I'm fucking angry, we have to let's fucking burn the shit down. Because we marched before and shit ain't changed. So, like, yo, let's burn this shit down. Ain't no solution. The middle dude was like, yo, we got to fucking do better.
Right.
And then the younger one's just, like, watching both. Like, what?
Yeah,
dude. And I was just like, damn, like, there hasn't been a time when, like, fucking my dad and then, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, like, an older dude than him, like,
Right.
I have to talk about how like we're getting gunned down for like bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. Like,
These are conversations in the black community they have with the kids when you turn 5 years old.
Yeah.
You know? Like when you go out that door, you can get killed.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We ain't had those conversations, bro.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We can talk about good credit, how we're gonna excel academically and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of projection, because I know also that if we get stopped by cops and shit, right? Like, as long as we fucking are respectful and like, just keep it like chill, even if my homie has like tattoos and all this shit on, whatever, like they're gonna be like, they might give a shit, they might be a little racist, but then I'm not like scared for my life. And then that's why a lot of Asians are like, yo, just comply. But then you're seeing actual footage of people complying and still getting fucking
Right.
killed, and you know what I'm saying?
That's a dumb excuse, because and then obviously the type of protest, when it gets violent, the rioting's happening because of the fact that nothing has worked. So you can't be like, if you have the privilege to be like, you should just have this peaceful protest. That's a privilege in itself for you to be able to say that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
People
will listen to you. People fucking listen to you. Here, everyone, and don't get all crazy, all the Asians, don't get all mad. We understand that Asians have struggles, but I'll tell you right now, man, if you don't fucking show up for the black community, you're going to have this problem with the Asian and black community for decades to come. The world is watching right now, and if you don't show up right now, it's going to leave a very bad legacy for our people in this country, man.
Yeah.
This is when I was thinking about how we're going to talk about this on the podcast, one other side I wanted to talk to you about is for the groups of Koreans, because I'm Korean, the ones that were liquor store owners, dry cleaners, delis, in the hoods, or just in like in DC. I lived in McLean, Arlington, and I crossed the bridge to go to DC. And there's a lot of beauty supply stores, liquor stores. I had a family member that was shot. Back in the day when he was robbed. So for many of these Koreans, the ones that are in that bubble, all their life, their life was harder due to the black community. And this is, I'm saying this carefully, but whether it's robberies, whether it's racist shit, being called chinkuk or getting shit thrown, it was usually a black person that did that in the hood, like where they were working at.
Right. So they already have a perspective.
So they already have a bias and perspective.
Yeah.
And also another thing is a lot of merchants, when they go into these verbal arguments, like Koreans, we don't like to back down either, right? Like we both have this prideful, just like not humility, but just like we'll just keep going. We'll keep going until one of us get exhausted. While seeing this, and I'm saying this from this perspective of Asians, they see this moment where it's like Black Lives Matter. It's for the blacks. There is this innate, not disdain, but just kind of like, dude, why are we giving them so much props and credit right now?
Right.
Do you know? For these people, trust me, and I was very hesitant if I wanted to share this idea, but we have to understand a lot of the behaviors and philosophies. We have to go into the past and do our research and history to understand that it was an unfair system from the beginning. And a lot of things that we talk about how liquor stores and, just like the cliche, like the ghetto factors, we have to empathize and we have to switch shoes, man, and understand where this is coming from. And this is hard for a lot of people. I can't tell.
And I agree
my
with
aunt whose uncle was killed to be like Black Lives Matter.
I agree with you, but here's what I'm calling out. I'm calling out the youth, the Asian youth.
No, for sure.
To actually step in and start that conversation.
Yeah.
And that is so important, and it's not happening, man. I grew up when I was a child when the LA riots happened, 6 years old.
Right.
For many years, when I hit the teenagers and I started getting hit with that Asian pride wave, I looked at the rooftop Koreans and we glorified them.
Right.
We looked at these dudes like badasses,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And that glorification still happens. And they were badass. They held down their things. But do you know how that looked? It looked really bad, man.
Yeah.
Shooting, and you kill somebody out of, protecting your store accidentally or whatever happens. Sure. That could escalate the situation for decades to come. You got to think you got to think how to deal with these situations, 100%, man.
100%.
I mean, and it's not easy. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy situation, and this conversation isn't easy to have. I'll probably get grilled by Koreans and Asians for this. Like I'm from Koreatown, bro. I'm from a town where we learned.
Are you sure? I can't tell. Was that
tattoo? The tattoo or the jersey? When my parents started to kind of slow down and fall behind in technological advances, right? Like, how TVs, computers, all these things change. Apple TVs, all these things change. And I remember when I moved out the house, I went to New York, I came back, and it hurt me. It, saddened me to see my parents so behind on, technology. And then it hit me. It's like, it's your fault. It's your job to update and, kind of teach your parents these things, right? And on the outside of that, too, with thought process and what's going on in the current culture in the world, it is our job right now to talk to our parents about this as well.
Yeah.
Because it's still going to affect them. Things are not going to be the same now. And we need to, even if it's uncomfortable, kind of hesitant. It's hard because we don't even talk about love really in our own family. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to even talk about anything positive or mushy or gushy like that with your family, as Koreans, we need to take this time and opportunity. This is a blessing for us to talk and maybe even mend some of our own shit within our family.
Yeah.
And we have to do that.
Of course, 100%.
Talking to them and getting them to understand is great, but another reason why we should do that, not only for their own understanding, is because a lot of our parents vote. You know, a lot of us we talk that shit, but a lot of us are lazy when it comes to actually voting.
Yeah.
But our parents are fucking voting, dude. And a surprising amount of Asian parents voted for Trump. You know what I mean? Because they see Trump at the church. They fell for the
not
bullshit.
even that money.
They're like, oh, he's a good businessman. I've seen his face so many times. Yeah,
right.
So
they love Atlantic City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Asians be at Atlantic City for sure.
Come on, dude. Taj Mahal, let's go.
But yeah, that's actually one of main reason why I think we should talk to our parents, educate them and shit.
Speaking of that video with like the 3 generations, I thought of that. When I saw that, I thought of like even the Korean community in Koreatown, right? The 46-year-old, the oldest gentleman in the video is like, no, we need to fight back. Fuck it, we need to loot. That's the ajashi that's, you know, remembering 92 and be like, nah, we got to go back on the roof and fight back. And then the middle guy is the new, you know, it's the current age, which is like, no, this is a new way of thinking. We have to do it differently. Right now, we need to think about our Korean dongsengs right now. The kids who are not, right now to them, you know, I don't know exactly where they're at mentally, but back then when I was young, I'm just thinking no school. This is crazy, you know, like this is fun. We need to educate. I'm tired of being like, oh, us Koreans, like, yeah, we're a little behind on these things. No, we need to catch up right now.
100%.
And we need to talk to our youth, man, for sure. Because they're walking, like, this is not McLean, Virginia. McLean, Virginia, if I was at home, I wouldn't even know this shit was going on. But here, you guys are in the front line,
okay,
right?
let me address a person here in the chat. Paul's modeling company, who's, you know, obviously talking about Chinatown, Koreatown getting looted. And he keeps saying, like, bro, where's Asian men standing up? If you don't think that us speaking on this and trying to heal the situation is not standing up, you got it real twisted, man. I'm telling you right now.
And don't get it twisted. There are people out there.
There are people out there. I'm not, bro.
Trust
You
me,
got
outside, man.
Protect your stores, but go and listen to the community. Go engage with the community. Go to the marches. Go to the protests. Yes, I get it. I get it. There's both sides to this, man. One thing I don't want to do, and I don't want to be the first reaction I don't want people to do is just do the same exact thing we did in 92. We have resources to communicate. We're not our parents anymore. We're not those ajashis who can't even talk, who don't even understand black culture. Black culture is what made me be outspoken about things. Honestly, it's what made me unapologetically Asian. That's what black culture did for all of us. We grew up on hip hop, bro. Hip hop made us the way we are and talk about Asian shit. Mm-hmm. I don't understand.
Say it again.
I just
I mean, all these people who are so like fucked up about you know, the racist attacks during COVID or whatever. This is now our chance to like put a voice to our faces and shit. Like if we come out and we show solidarity and support, you think like all those attacks are gonna, you know, in the future are gonna like keep happening and shit? I mean, they might here and there, but like, if we come out and we actually be like, we stand for something. We're in America. Like a lot of times, the Asian voices are like mad quiet. It's because it's also like part of our culture, right?
Yeah.
Like, stay out of trouble. Just keep your head down, keep it moving, make your money, right? But like now's the time. Like, let's fucking be American too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Show that you're American.
And here's the thing. I got a message today on my DMs. Somebody be like, talking about, how come no Asians speaking up for the Asian struggles? First of all, there has been tons. You're not paying attention. There's been a lot of people who stepped up for the xenophobic attacks, fundraisers, all that stuff.
What are you talking about?
There's been a lot of that. And they were like, when are we going to speak up and not take a back seat and fall into the model minority category?
That's their voice?
I don't understand.
No,
I don't know anything more model minority than not protesting right now, bro.
Yeah.
And taking a back seat.
There it is.
That's the funniest shit. He literally wrote, we're taking when will we stop taking a back seat and stop being the model minority? I don't know anything more than missing out on the biggest movement going on globally.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, bro. It's like ironic,
It's just, in the Bible it says Satan never makes anything from nothing. He always has to take something that's good and distort it. Let's not get it twisted right now, man. We're like looters and the ones that are opportunistic, the ones that are just hype beasts right now that has nothing to do with whatever's going on. That's just kind of like joining the critical mass to get shit, to get stuff right now. Fuck them. What's happening now is just the levee broke, man. It's just after tolerance, after endurance. If we think about it, say their names and how many consecutively, back to back to back. If that was a Korean person every week, every month, like this is something that we need to, something has to break, and unfortunately it's bad because now from something that's good, an evil thing has formed where people it's hard to distinguish. These cops can't do their job because they can't distinguish who's out there for the movement and who's out there to get a Gucci bag, you know?
Right.
But unfortunately, this is the reality of things, and we're not saying, yo, go listen to the looters or go listen to the ones out there that are breaking shit. It's like let's like fake news out there. We need to figure out what source is credible and understanding what we need to be supporting and helping, you know?
I think, what we really do need, I mean, specifically me, because I'm involved in the Asian community.
Yeah.
I think we ultimately want Asian and Black community solidarity, and that is going to be a tough process that has to start from somewhere. And I understand the frustrations of the Asian people, even in this chat, to the DMs and all that.
Yeah. I'm not even looking at the
But I will tell you right now, you guys aren't even trying to start the process. That is, you can be mad at me, you can hate me, but you guys aren't even trying to start the process. And that's what makes me mad. Like the mentality of, dude who was talking about all the stuff is just literally, it's the same exact mentality.
Right.
From 30 years ago or whatnot.
Right.
It's the same exact mentality, these cops have had.
When I talk to older people sometimes, like people who live their lives and they're near mortality, they're near death's door, they don't really have fear of your opinion or, they don't have fear of man really. They just say shit. They could they could come off super blunt, racist, like kind of inconsiderate. But with age comes experience, comes statistics, comes like, oh, well, yeah, this usually happens like this. You know what I mean? Through years of life, yeah, this group of people are like, they're kind of like that, And sometimes that experience and that knowledge, that generalization, can be turned into bias and racism, you know? And these people that are protecting their stores, the ones out there, I'm telling you, their fathers, with military experience, or just people who are just like, we can't just do it with talking and doing a podcast with it.
Yeah.
And I completely understand that too. You know what I'm saying? Like for them to be like, no, like it's like when you guys say, hey, Rick, how many prayers did you do today? It's kind of like a joke because you're like, the prayers isn't working. You have to go out and do shit. Same thing on another level is they're saying instead of just like communicating and listening, it's load the clip so they don't break our window.
I get that.
That's why right now, dialogue, we're going to have a lot of agree to disagree moments.
100%.
No one's going to walk away and be like, Rick, that's it.
No,
nah.
100%. And if you have the gift of gab, of being able to communicate, you have a duty to step in and speak up.
For sure.
Speak up for those who can't. Right. You're right. Some people is like, yo, load a clip. That's how they communicate.
Right.
But that's not us. You know what I'm saying? Like we're communicating in a different way, and you got to step up to the plate and do your job. And that's not a pretty job. No, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Also, the thing about communication and like not being able to articulate things, I think that's one thing that I did see a lot of my friends and even like friends that have platforms and stuff. I think a lot of them are kind of scared because they're not the type to talk about this shit, and they also don't want to get like flamed and shit. They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Because they know that they're lacking in that department. Mm-hmm. But I still think it's important, because like that's something that you have to, sit there and think about what you want to say, and that uncomfortable like moment. I think it's worth that. You know what I'm saying? Like take a second, right, and deal with the fact that you don't know what to say, and then think about it, and then say something. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, like, I keep seeing like, if someone posts some shit, I see the reaction. I see either an opportunity to have a real conversation, with somebody else. And then both of y'all might not know. And then you guys can talk about it.
I want that to happen even now. Please join in the Discord. Even people who don't agree with us, I've seen a couple of comments like you guys might not agree with us. Please, let's have a conversation. I promise you, we will not fucking attack.
No.
Let's have like a real conversation that needs to happen.
I just feel like,
and let me just say one point too. Let's also just keep in mind that there are tons of Asian and Black solidarity moments, and we're just talking about something that we've been seeing coming up and trickling in. But even during COVID xenophobic attacks, there was black solidarity. When you're checking all Asian meme sites and stuff like that, you might just see it one-sided, but trust me, there has been support as well.
If I'm gonna make a song called Viral talking about the attacks on the Asians, then I need to also balance it out with the attacks in China on the Africans. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everywhere. There's inverted. We put out a color. I put out an Instagram and I put out a color blue, and I say, what color is this? There's gonna be multiple answers, dude. This is what we are. We all have our own individual thoughts. The way our hues is different. But when I said that we need to all kind of zoom out and think of us as a unit, once we have like the greater, like what is our mission statement as a whole together, and once we kind of get that right, then we could find beauty in these disagreements, bro.
No,
100%. and in order to get there, we have to slow it down and have dialogue for sure. And that's why the whole Koreatown roof and all that, definitely we understand why it got pushed there. But if we do that, we're just retrogressing. We're just moving backwards, bro. Yeah. We have to start with the dialogue for sure.
And then also kind of piggybacking on what you said, I am glad. Like, I've seen a lot of if I post some shit, like a lot of people, like even that I didn't think were thinking about this stuff, were hitting me up with their thoughts and stuff like that. And I'm shout out to like people like Bamboo, man.
Yeah, he's been in the
fight.
He's
been in the fight forever.
Before it was tight to do. You know what I mean?
Uncomfortable conversations. This motherfucker's had his whole career doing that shit.
Yeah, Mortal Technique.
Respect the Bamboo, man, for real.
And yeah, man, it's I said this on Dumb World last week, but what a blessing like for us to have been introduced to hip hop and like learned a lot of these lessons early on, because like we were just getting like these thoughts drilled in us just because we thought the beat was tight. Yeah. And then we were slowly sinking in all these lessons and shit. Right. Like not just fuck the cops, but why? You know what I mean?
And here's the thing. To me, I think the one thing it's kind of bugging me is that everyone wants to speak out about why they shouldn't do this, but they haven't put in any fucking work to make that community better. They could have done it without a lot of things years before.
Yeah. We were talking yesterday how like this is this generation's first real protest, and then we were discussing the differences of the protests in the past, and what you said was crazy. How it was like that was pre-social media. People are reading literature, they're reading they're reading books and word of mouth. Right now, anyone with a phone and internet connection can broadcast something themselves, dude. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So even without knowledge or just any emotional direction, they could go on live and garner an audience and create truth out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so during this time, definitely while we're saying we should have dialogue, another balance that we need to think about is we need to sift through the bullshit dialogue. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or the ones even that's mass, like, okay, let's it's for good, but they're missing the point. Right. Like when I make a song like Viral and I see a comment about like, yeah, this song is so fucking dope because you motherfuckers, and then it completely misses the whole point of the song, right? So definitely during this time, I can't wait till we have a few chats.
All right, let's go into some calls, man. Please call in the Discord right now. We're gonna take some calls from everybody out there. And I love the regular community we have too, because we actually have I think our two core groups are actually Black and Asian. A lot of the people who tune into the show. So this will be actually a very good conversation. Please call in, request some Discord calls. Do we have any, Tony? Should we go into it or what?
Yeah. We got first up Eric Chung.
Eric Chung. Okay.
Chung. I'm guessing he's Korean.
This is the perfect day for you to ask.
Oh, dude.
What's your ethnicity?
Black or yellow.
Minority Report from Rick Lee. All right.
All right. While we wait for Eric Chung.
Eric Chung.
Let's see. All right. I'm going to give you guys like 30 seconds to join in.
Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way, man.
Thanks, guys, and I'm sorry if I got a little bit loud or whatever. I'm not trying to
not fun with dumb. Huh?
Nah, it's just I'm passionate.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey.
What up,
Eric? Hi. Am I live right now?
You're live.
You're
Yep,
live.
you're live.
Oh, yo, that's crazy. I just used the restroom. That's why. So I legit just talked to my mom about like everything that's going on, and I finally kind of convinced her after our conversation
You're saying he's too loud.
that.
To turn him down a little bit, Tony.
I'll turn him down.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
go ahead. Keep going.
But I kind of convinced my mom that like everything that like I've been doing and everything that I've been talking about, and she kind of like agreed and finally saw my perspective of it.
Oh, so you actually you got through to her.
Yeah, I got through to my mom, and she finally starts understanding like why I'm doing everything and why I'm speaking and acting the way that I've been like the past couple months.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally, I did the same thing today. I sent her I discovered this like how to have a convo with your mom, aunt, uncle, whatever in Korean thing. I literally sent it to her and she understood.
Yeah.
She straight up understood. That to me, that's why it's scary when you have younger Asian men or women with this mind state where they don't understand, you know. And I get it because young people are, you know, they're fueled with fire.
Yeah.
You know, and they do have that energy where it can be turned into something beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I also understand why that's dangerous too.
Yeah.
If you start already sharing these like ignorant views, quickly it spreads like wildfire because people will listen to, you know, those voices and it's going to turn into something dangerous, you know? But yeah, continue. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah. Being that
Wait, hold up. Can we turn them up on this side,
Yeah,
like on the monitor or something?
Turn up on this side, but not in the
Thank you, Tony.
Go ahead.
I can barely
but
hear.
being that somebody that practices like a black culture, like I'm a b-boy, I dabble in rap, I graffiti. I've always wanted to like, and I'm like super invested into like DJing.
Jesus Christ,
I-
4 elements over here.
You got the element. Blended over here,
Nah,
yeah.
I can't get enough.
He's like also the fifth element, entrepreneurship. You go to
But-
KRS's School of Hip Hop, bro? Jesus. All right. And
I went to KRS concerts, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah.
But
Oh, wow.
The
no,
teacher.
but it's just like I felt that it's my responsibility to do this because as somebody who has created a lifestyle off of black culture, off of creating like black culture is giving me so much, and it's finally like an opportunity. I think that's a bad way to say it, but like I feel so obligated to do this, and I
I
feel
hear
like
you.
this is the right thing to do.
I
know?
hear you.
That's
I
dope, man.
actually have like one question for you guys because like this is something that I'm currently struggling with. Like I said, I just talked to my mom and kind of convinced her like this is the right thing to do. This is the right side of history to be on. But I told her, I want to talk to Dad. I want to talk to my dad about this, and she got like really scary. She had that like look in her eyes. If you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
dad is a whole nother thing, bro. Mom
Yeah.
is one thing. I know my dad will be another thing, but I plan to have this discussion with my dad. And
But-
you know what? And I feel like we do have to stop underestimating our parents, man.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
they
but, like-
have. Yeah, go ahead.
But like, how are you gonna do that? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm like extremely scared to talk to my dad about this because my dad is not the kind of person to let down in an argument because he
Yeah,
doesn't.
but what
wanna
is he
look
gonna
like-
do? I mean, what's he gonna do to you?
That's what I'm worried about. I don't know because this is like,
He's like
a very
"Meet
big
me
issue
on the
too,
rooftop.
you know? I was just wondering like, how are you guys gonna do it? And like, how?
I mean,
I don't
There's
think you
anything
should
I can take.
underestimate your father's ability to kind of be understanding, man. As they, you know, the stronger, hard-headed fathers, as they get older, they become softest, man. Not softest as in weak, but they just, you know, because they've been so stern and strict their whole life, like there's a fatigue, man. And then you talk to them and without fear and without authority, when you speak to him, don't tremble, you know, just say it, and he will respect you and listen, bro. And if it doesn't work, then, you know, then at least you know you tried. But you know, there's a lot of things I told my dad, you know, as a Christian, even about homosexuality and just Old Testament, New Testament, hard ass questions. Back in the day, you know, he'd be like, pray, shut up. You know, now the fact that he's, you know, they're so used to speaking in absolute value terms, just like 1, 2, 3. As they get older, they go deep into the decimals, man. Trust me. So it's gonna be a great conversation.
I
bro.
also think that we put off these conversations just because we just feel like they're just not gonna give a fuck anyway. Who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah.
Like, why are we gonna go through the trouble of doing that? But I think it's good for us to do that and just to be surprised by the reaction,
for
to
sure.
put that fire in us, letting us
sure.
know like, damn, this is a universal experience. Like people can understand. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it's important for us to do that, because we need to be shocked and surprised that, you know, even if our parents can understand that, then, you know, everyone else out there can too.
For sure, bro. And I have two things to say to you, brother, before we hang up. The first thing is our inability to think that our parents can understand and accept and adapt is the thing that we need to break for our people to really make the solidarity happen.
That's very true.
And the second thing I want to say is about the, you know, you took mad credits and you have, you know, you feel like you owe to do this thing. You feel this obligation to help the black community out because you do hip hop. Trust me, I had that same feeling too. But I want to say that feeling is wrong, bro. It's like, I don't want you to feel like you're obligated to do this because you're a hip hop artist.
You're right.
This is a human.
That's true.
This is their people. You know what I'm saying? So like, I thought that too. I was like, damn, if I do this and they see me on the protest and I'm speaking out about it, will this be prerequisites for less like blaming of cultural appropriation later? And then me thinking like that already is not healthy. So
It's true.
So yeah,
hip-hop
man.
wasn't the only reason. Yeah, of like, it's just more like,
No,
from what I've been
100%.
seeing,
I'm not saying that was the
real
sole
ass
reason.
shit. You just dropped.
I know. It's just like,
I'm just saying.
No,
it's just more like,
yeah.
everybody around me is like all my crew, like my crew members, the people around me, the communities that I'm involved in, they all been saying like, yo, if you're not speaking as somebody who practices these cultures, then you are a vulture. You're a culture vulture, man.
Yeah,
Right.
You're not really about this culture. And yeah,
for sure.
I have,
But the
so,
ones
you're
that
right.
are,
But that is a good reminder. That is a very good reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric, thanks for calling
Thanks
in, bro.
for calling in, bro.
And that was
Appreciate it.
that was
Hey,
some
thanks
real,
for having me on. Love you guys. Love all
No,
your
thank
work
you, man. That was some real honest shit, man. I really hope that that
Yeah.
conversation
I'm
with your
excited
father goes
I'm
well,
excited
too.
for that convo, bro.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
All right,
it.
man.
Peace,
Okay.
man. God
You're-
bless.
Can't wait to one day see his act. He's gonna be breakdancing while spraying graffiti and DJing and rapping.
The all in one.
Y'all ever seen Jay live?
Mm-mm.
Jay live, fucking he
Yeah,
he scratches
DJs and
and raps.
I did all four elements of hip hop and realized like I sucked at all. Even the rap part, and I just chose it because I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to take a crate of vinyl to every club.
Right.
I don't have to exercise and learn how to break dance. Well, and graffiti, like, there's a good chance I get arrested.
Yeah.
I think
I'll just
MCing is for me. Sounds about right.
He saw people was like, ooh,
That
a lot
looks
of work
hard.
right there.
That
A lot
is-
of work.
All right. Okay. Let's take another call.
We got Wes, Cindy.
West Indies.
West
Hey,
Indies.
yo.
What's up, bro? How are you, man?
West Indy.
Wes,
Yeah,
Cindy.
I'm good, bro.
Oh, West Indy. What up?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London, fam.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
London fam.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just trying to do my bit to support the Black Lives Matter movement, man.
Yeah.
I was trying to create some artwork and donate to any charities that are available at the minute.
That's sick. You're an artist?
Yeah, more a musician, but I do draw and things like that. So I just wanted to make some art and things like that to support.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to everybody from the UK supporting it and you know being active.
For
when
sure.
It's not even your country, you know.
I kind of was curious, like, how, you know, other countries are viewing America. What are your thoughts when you see kind of like the simultaneous protests and all that?
Yeah, man. I think it's been massive here. Like, there's people been protesting in London. It's been a massive social thing as well. But one thing I actually wanted to ask you guys is, what is your thoughts on people like virtue signaling with like the black square thing? Like, I've seen people that I know that don't really care about the movement that are posting on social media, and
I mean
you know,
that clearly exists. I was pointing that out early, but I kind of let that go. I feel like that's a part of me that I was like, you know what? That's not where I should put my focus into.
Yeah,
you know.
100%. Like,
And I was doing that. I was all like,
yeah.
where the fuck are the international artists not speaking on this? Where are the, people who've exploited black culture, all this, why aren't they speaking up? But like, we can't wait around for those
Right,
cats.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
You know, I don't know if it's Jake Paul or Logan Paul. I get those two mixed up, but they posted some shit where he was really addressing like his privilege and all that stuff, and those guys are toxic. You know what I'm saying? I don't really fuck with them. I don't fuck with their content, but I reposted that thing because I don't know. We can never tell. Like, we can't look into people's hearts and see who's really bad and who isn't.
Right.
But I reposted it because this fool has a large demographic, a huge audience of kids that look up to him and listen to them. And, as long as what he was saying wasn't bullshit, like, yo, I'm going to share it because I don't, like.
For sure.
And especially those kids probably are the ones that need to hear the shit most.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he probably has a super like all lives matter fan base too. Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So when he said this whole thing, whether it was a script or not, like, that demographic was hit.
No,
yeah. So I'm gonna, like, fuck it. I'm not gonna be like sitting there like, yo, is he really about it or not? I'm gonna say, yo, he's doing his part. Like, fuck it.
Yeah, the execution and like the display sometimes overpowers the intention too, so when Rex saw it and it hit him different, like, damn, this guy who's usually a clown having this moment of clarity and just being honest, whether it was trolling or not, him posting it on his network, it actually, it put it under a different light, yo. So I don't ever worry about other people's intent. I just worry about if mine are clear.
Yeah,
and then that's the way.
I was focusing on the other end for a long time too. But the thing is, we're seeing that kind of similar vibe where people feel it.
Yeah.
And I think they genuinely feel it, but there's just no action.
Yeah.
Like,
if we didn't see that behind the scenes footage of that that woman holding the drill. Come on, dude. Like, there's going to be, everyone is looting their own ways. Like, other people are going to shoe stores getting boxes. Other people are trying to loot and get, like, digital kudo points right now. You know what I mean? Everyone's trying to
I couldn't believe that shit was real.
That shit is crazy. The opportunistic, it's so wild, man. It's because of loot boxes, man. These new games, man.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny, though, that when I reposted Logan Paul, I couldn't even bring myself to repost it without fucking, like, without, like shitting on him. Like, it was so hard for me. Yeah, I said, no matter how corny you think dude is, he is speaking to him as an audience. That's corny.
That is the word. That's not even a backhanded compliment. That's like a front-handed compliment.
I was like, I still gotta get this off, but I still
this fool just straight.
Don't fuck with this dude. But yeah.
That's like holding him by his neck, like,
holding him up, like, look at this guy, he's doing a good thing, fucking asshole.
Fucking asshole, you gotta love this guy.
Yo, but speaking on that, the social media, that shit is so.
Yeah, it's cringe. It's cringe.
Man.
She literally drove up and was like, BLM.
Mm-hmm. No. I think that was like, those are people on the street.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought she literally was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for calling in, bro. Is there anything else you want to ask or talk about?
One other thing
Sure.
I wanted to ask. Have you guys seen? There's like a lot of sources recently about some protests where there's just kind of organized bricks that are available to protesters.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to get into that, like the conspiracy?
You see, I don't. The thing about that, I don't know. I just don't know. You know,
I mean, we don't need to talk about like who done it. But let's talk about how interesting that is, though. Like, what the fuck, man?
I thought it was quite
mysterious
interesting.
piles of bricks appearing. Is that happening over there in London too?
No, actually, but I saw mainly in like the major kind of states in America.
Yeah.
In New York, I was watching a video about it. And yeah, I just thought it was weird. I feel like there's like a third power to this in a way. Like, I think there's anarchists
in the days of CCTV, we'll just review.
Well, hey, Dumb,
I just don't think.
Remember the time you went? The day you went to the protest.
Yeah, the cop cars.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, the cop car. Okay, so the protest I went to a couple of days ago there's actually a video of a guy who was there right when this happened with the cop car getting burnt, and he explains the conspiracy, or he believes that it was a plant. I was there when that exact thing happened. I was like probably like a couple of feet away from him.
Yeah, I was looking for you.
Yeah. So there was a cop car just sitting there.
Right.
No cop around, just sitting there on the street.
Right.
And like we're marching, and the one dude walks up to it, hammers it, and then all of a sudden everyone kind of joins in, and in a matter of like 3 minutes it's in flames.
Right.
But that was a little sus. The cop they didn't have a siren on the cop car too, so it looked like maybe it could have been like an old cop. Yeah. Car. So to me, it's not about like a conspiracy. It probably was just the cops who set it up to just make everyone focus on that. I don't think it's like, oh, let's just make them look at it just like they're damaging
right.
property. But I also think they're diverting people to damage
dude.
one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Art of war, man, it's just, you know, there's gonna be things that they set up, and yeah, definitely. I don't think it's out of malicious intent, like conspiracy theory.
I mean, it's also it could be both, you know. But I'm just saying they did want people to focus on those cars, whether they wanted to make it look like cops are being attacked, or you know, they just wanted the violence and destruction to go towards that one thing.
I like how that as this develops, as these protests go on, people are getting hip to all that shit. Like first day was like, oh fuck, you know, and then now it's like, you know, even the protesters are kind of like you know, policing the own you know, people that are out there, like, yo, we don't do that, like
for sure.
Even the lady that the white lady with the painting, someone threw the water bottle at her and she was like, and then another protester ran up to her and he was like, ma'am, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry that this happened to you, and then you know, but that's not what we're about, I'm sorry. But then also, and he started educating her about the all lives matter thing.
I think that's, you see, that's what's happening, is because the educating part is so much faster now because we have social media. You know, all these things getting shared with each other. It's like, if this happened before social media, it couldn't get even way more violent, and it did.
Yeah.
You know,
what you said last time about if you're not curious, it's over for you, right? We have the tools to learn right now. Yesterday when I got back home, I sat on my couch, you know, I was casting to Twitch, and I was jumping from Houston to Portland to Seattle just in a click of a finger, and I'm literally there. They're talking to cops. You could get different demographics, different opinions everywhere. You just have to go and educate yourself, for sure, man.
Yeah, imagine being like back in the day, or even 92.
You don't even
Like,
know if your side is like
where to go. Yeah, like
For
social
real.
media is crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, thanks for calling in, bro. Appreciate it, bruv.
Yeah, thank you.
Yo, you a fan of People Just Do Nothing or what?
You know what's so funny, mate? My cousin, he works with the people from People Do Nothing.
No way.
FM, dude. What?
Corrupt FM.
Corrupt FM, yeah.
Steve's Beats Grinder.
Stay safe out there, buddy.
Stay safe,
Oh
man.
no.
Peace, guys. Peace.
Let's take another caller.
We got MC Trek Life.
Trek Life. Is this the Trek Life?
The Trek Life.
Hello?
Can't hear you, man. Hello?
Next.
Trek Life?
You might want to resituate your mic. I'll get
It's
back
the
to you,
homie
man.
rapper Trek Life right there. I'd love to hear his stats, actually. Okay.
People wondering, People Just Do Nothing.
We'll get him
is a
back
show.
on if you want.
It's a show on Netflix.
Let's just
It's amazing.
see
Watch
if we can
that.
get him on. I don't
Killa West.
Killer West. Hello?
Killa West.
Hello.
What's
What's
up,
up,
Killer
bro?
West?
Not much, guys. I just want to say, first of all, respect to you guys for doing this and just having this open dialogue for people to, you know, have this dialogue, specifically the Asian Americans.
No doubt.
Thank you, bro. Oh, can we, Tony, could you lower him a little bit? Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. And of course, like, you know, we're not dudes who are the most necessarily qualified. We just have our beliefs, and, you know, we want to mainly hear from you guys more than us, honestly.
True.
So, yeah, what's up, bro?
Yeah, 100%. I guess so. I had a question. So, like, as
Tony.
rappers who are a part of the hip hop culture, can you guys talk about like what hip hop has done for you guys and why it's so important for us to speak up? And also, like, how has hip hop opened the door for you guys to understand and empathize with the Black community and their ongoing racial struggle and discrimination? Dumb, I know you kind of already talk about this a little bit in your podcast, so what hip hop has done for you. So I'm kind of curious to hear from like Rekstizzy and lyrics a little
This reminds
bit.
me of that Drunken Tiger intro. Hip hop emoji. Do you remember that, Joey? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you know, I kind of talked about it earlier, but yeah, the influence is crazy. Like I'm telling you, we would literally, just because we liked the music, like because I wanted to rap, I would go buy like A side, B side, singles and shit for instrumentals, and then I would hear the songs on it, and then accidentally, almost by accident, get woke just because like I'm listening for the beats, but I'm starting to hear these words and it's sinking in, and you know, I'm blessed to have had that experience, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and then listening to Dead Prez, KRS-One, you know, Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really blessed me to be more open-minded and have perspective.
Yeah.
And you know, giving me the tools to call shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like even Rick here, like, yo, without hip hop, like he's had, you know, during you know, the COVID, you know, racist attacks against Asians, you know, he might have expressed it in a different way if he didn't have hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So like it's really just in so many ways, like education, learning how to articulate our thoughts better. And in a cool way, you know what I'm saying? Like we could come off very corny.
It's just, yo, I just, like, this just came to me, and I already know in the chat. I'm not watching the chat. Shanwai's going to make fun of it, say it's corny, but, like, hip-hop gave me a voice, man. You know? And so that's why I need to get that voice back right now. That's hip-hop, like, when I was younger, I didn't know how to identify myself, and how, you know, I was struggling with being Korean and trying to adapt and acclimate at, you know, like, since elementary school. And listening to this music, listening to the genre and just the style of it, it gave me an opportunity to say what I want to say and how I wanted to say it. And through there, it evolved to a lot of different things. When people enjoyed listening to me, that gave me confidence to become a storyteller and become a performer. So that was like a ramp for me to become who I am today. So hip hop gave me my first voice, you know, when I was still trying to find it between Korean and American. And now the people, you know, the people that this music originated from being voiceless right now. It's like, it's just kind of like this thing where it's a beautiful cycle. I need to give it back, yo.
Yeah, I had to say beautiful cycle, huh?
I had to do it.
No, I mean, just what I said before, like, hip hop taught us to be unapologetically Asian because it was unapologetically black. Like I keep saying that one line because it's so simple. You know what I'm saying? It's such a simple line
quote.
Yeah, it's a simple line that really explains the way we are. You know, it did teach us. It taught us so much, that confidence, the way we speak from our hearts.
It even taught me rebellion in a way because my parents were so against it. You know, it taught me fighting for what I believed in a way. You know,
yeah.
Like I had to.
It's like, NWA said.
Yeah, man.
Fuck the police and fuck you. Now don't come in my room.
Put the mattress up. And then you put the big ass mattress up. I think that actually happened, to be honest with you.
Yeah, bro. Does that answer? Yeah. Go ahead.
No, for sure, yeah, and I can relate to that to a certain extent because so I'm also a b-boy and I've been dancing for 10 years, and for me, like, hip hop has like done so much for me because like pre-hip hop and pre-dancing, like I was like the quiet, skinny Asian kid who couldn't play like the popular sports like football, and I was picked on for being Asian, and to the point where I also kind of hated being, you know, Asian myself,
right? And
also I just had like zero confidence when it came to like speaking to people or even girls. But basically, like, for me, this dance kind of turned me into, I guess, a more confident, extroverted guy. And it has done so much for me. And I think it's also for us, it's important that we do give back. It's also helped me to kind of have open conversation with people within the hip hop community, specifically like the Black people, and be empathetic towards their racial injustice.
Right.
Because I think if you participate in any of the elements of hip hop and you don't support the Black community at the time, where specifically the Black community created hip hop from their own struggles, from their own racial struggles, I think it's kind of messed up. And I think that in itself is kind of pretty much like cultural appropriation, if anything.
That's a very healthy way of thinking, man. And that's true. It's like we have to do our homework, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think luckily, you know, and I don't want, I know earlier on we're like calling out people who aren't vocal about it, but there's actually, this is really something going on. There's a movement going on where people are really vocal. Yeah. A lot of young people are finally being active and not doing slacktivism work. Yes, there is virtue signaling and all that, but there is actually people putting in work too. Right. So I want to praise that as well.
Hell
you
yeah.
know,
100%. And I think also just because like I'm seeing like a certain percentage of Asian Americans who are still kind of like quiet, and they're scared to kind of talk about this because they're either like really uncomfortable to finally speak up about, you know, just racial injustice, and it's their first time doing it. So, and also just, I think people are just afraid to kind of, you know, find out that they have their own racial bias and racism inside them. And I think, again,
it's true.
You guys are definitely you know, giving the people the opportunity to really speak out. And if anything, the Asian American, what we can do together is just really try our best to support each other.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll tell you the steps you got to do. First, get Eminem's
but at the same
Eminem.
time, we definitely got to help each other out.
First, buy Eminem's song featuring Rihanna, "I'm Not Afraid."
Yeah.
And then blast that shit to level 9.
I thought you were gonna say dye your hair like Eminem.
I'm not afraid, and then just march. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I feel that, man, and we can't intimidate. We got to invite dialogue, and we got to encourage, man, real shit. And I think you're completely right about that. There's a lot of young Asian people who want to get more involved. It could be very intimidating.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just want everyone to know their support, man. People love it, man. And that's why I don't. That's why I stopped chilling on the whole calling out people.
I was actually just about to say that because it is kind of contradictory how we're like, yo, don't be afraid, we'll do it. And naturally people are afraid because if they say the wrong thing or it sounds, you know, stupid, people will bash. You know, people will be like, what the fuck? And that's why, like, for me personally, I'm not saying everyone has to, but like, you know, the Nikki Park situations and all that, I was like, what the fuck? And my response was, but then we need to react in a way kind of like how the lady with the painting at the protest. It's just kind of like, all right, I'm sorry that happened and you got called a dingleberry, you know, but this is why, you know, and we kind of, because I've seen the differences between like people who are just trying to protest on their own with no experience, no organization, and the ones that been doing it and know what they're doing, you know. So we have to kind of be a little bit more, you know, wary with like how we react and kind of like talk to people.
And you know,
especially when they're trying to talk anyway, because they usually wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know that like fans calling out their favorite artists, that shit. I think you guys should continue to do that.
Okay, so you're on the opposite end. That you believe that they should keep calling them out.
No. When I'm talking about peer to peer, stuff like that, I don't think so really.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like your favorite artists, like put them on the spot. Fuck it, you know. Because a lot of them are either going to take action and start actually
they
talking,
have the platform.
True.
Yeah, they got the
or
platform.
they're gonna show their true colors.
yeah, and
Yeah.
shut
And
her.
True.
then you'll know if you fuck with them. Or
Yeah,
not.
I mean, you know what? Now I'm going back. Well, because I'm only saying because these are the people you're giving your money to. Like literally the people right now who are going through hard times financially because of COVID and everything are giving money to artists. Like, do you want to, like right now, who do you want to support? You know, like this is, you know, you're like fuck Target and all these corporations people are burning down, but protect the mom and pop shops. You support corporations through these artists too. These are corporations. They're just artists, but they're corporate artists. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Don't you want to support the mom and pop shops? Don't burn down the mom and pop shops. You're gonna burn some shit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Relax.
All right.
I'm deeply
Okay, wait. I don't know if that's the same thing we were talking about.
You
Right?
say you're the mom and pop shop?
I'm just like, yeah, I'm the mom and pop shop. Don't burn me down.
Nah, but on some real shit, you know, go ahead and I think fuck it, call them out. And you know, if they have been supporting behind the scenes or they're about the cause, they're not gonna come back at you defensive.
Yeah, and calling
Think
them
about
out
that.
doesn't mean like bashing them either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just I think it's challenging them. Like, yo, this is your chance. You have a platform. Do something good with it, and that's what it is. You know,
and actually, and also before you do call them out though, do a little bit of research. Like, just check their timeline at least once before you go all out. Because I remember I got called out like a couple years back, and then I was like, bro, are you kidding me? I've been posting. Like,
yeah, they do that to everybody, you know.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I want to point out, because I did see, you know, I did post out like this also means you international artist, because people think just because you're an international artist, like, what does this have to do with you? And the truth, you know how many people, like, they stay on top of African American culture, black culture in America.
Yeah.
You know, they have songwriters who are bringing them the hottest sounds and what music sounds like. And they're keeping up with the latest trends in fashion and art. Why? Or I don't think that's the cop out. How are you not on top of what's going on with the social injustices?
Don't make your hands like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It looks weird to me.
Am I accidentally
You're like-
making the white supremacy sign and shit? I don't know.
You're like tutting.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
No, I'm just saying. I don't
Come on,
understand.
fucking doing a jutsu.
I don't understand how you know when like Lil Uzi Vert's album is coming out, but you don't know that Black Lives Matter is trending.
He keeps going back to
But you know what I'm saying, though,
do,
right?
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand that. So I don't think that's an excuse. And the worst part is the fans are making that excuse for them. That's trash. Don't do that. Don't do that.
one of the people in the chat said, Ume Root said, don't make someone say something they don't understand yet just to appease people calling them out. Educate and state what is needed. Okay, I think that you know, I get that. I get that point of view of like, yo, if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, then don't say. 'Cause you don't spread misinformation. But when you do call them out, they're gonna finally take that moment to educate themselves. They probably will,
Exactly.
because they'll be like freaking out. You know what I'm saying? So,
Bro, I could
by all
educate my.
means.
I can learn about an event that's going on from an article, like, you know, in a good read. Sit down
Yeah.
and read. You know
they're
what I'm
literally
saying?
explainers.
What do you want? A fucking cookie?
I'm a fast reader.
You want a mic at night?
His name is dumb, but he knows how to read.
Jeez.
That's just to throw him off. I'm actually smart.
Oh my gosh.
See,
man.
dumb is found dead, for smart is alive.
Let's get next caller, yo.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, bro.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Peace, brother.
I forgot he was on the line.
I know. I thought he hung up. My bad. I didn't mean hang up.
He's just sitting there like, he's like mad cold and shit.
What's up, guys? What we got next?
I think we got Trek Life back on.
Trek Life.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
What's
Did I
up,
get it
man?
right?
What's up, Trek Life?
What's up, Trek?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing, man?
How you been, bro?
Man, I cannot complain. I've been doing wonderful, watching y'all progress and appreciating every moment of it, man.
Man,
Love it.
yo, thanks for calling. I haven't seen you in quite a while, man.
It has been a while. I think Project Blowed was the last time.
Yeah, or like a
came out in
Scratch
2006.
Academy in like
Yeah.
Santa Monica, but this man here has been repping in Los Angeles forever. You know, we
Yeah.
used to do shows at like Knitting Factory together.
Yes,
like
sir.
I'm talking early. That's 20 years now or something.
I remember Trek
15 years or 20 years. You know,
You know how to
so
sew?
you've been putting in that work, and he was doing mad shit before me. Before I was kind of learning the indie grind. He was already at the street team and the posters and shit.
yeah.
You know,
Are you in
so-
LA right now, Trek?
I am. I'm in West Covina, where I'm from. Whatever,
Yep,
so,
66
yeah.
represented.
Okay.
66, yeah. It's funny, man. Real quick before I make my quick point, Dumb. I keep missing you in Hawaii. Like whenever you leave, I fly in because I'm out there.
Oh,
So
damn.
It's time to catch you.
Yeah, man,
But,
we'll see each other in 2022 in Hawaii.
Right, exactly. When
Yeah.
we can get outside.
Have you been listening to everything we've been talking about?
I have, man. I wanted to note that this is very therapeutic for me, man. I was around in '92. I won't get too deep into my family history and
Sure.
bore everybody, but you know, my family comes from kind of deep-rooted places in the South where racism is pretty heavy. So we learned it from the very time we first learned to speak. Like we learned just to be prepared for how people might view us as Black people. But my grandmother, particularly, was very, very seriously anti-racism, like against anybody. She hated prejudice. You know what I'm saying? So in '92, just to kind of throw a story out there, in '92 when the riots happened, we were actually in Oakland. When we came back down, there's a store up the street from where I used to live on 110th and Hoover called Lee's Market. And they was getting ready to burn it down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everybody from 110th and 11th, I mean everybody down to the 5-year-olds stood around that store and said, heck no, y'all can't burn this store down.
Wow.
That's
You know what I'm
dope.
saying? So there are moments of solidarity that people don't get a chance to see among us. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hell yeah.
there is this division, there's this propaganda, there's the idea of blacks being criminals, there's the idea of the model minority, which nobody placed on each other. Like nobody gave those ideologies.
Right.
We were given those were placed on each other. So if everyone took a step back, I mean, you know, I don't like to be all kumbaya or whatever, but if everybody just took a step back and just listened. I mean, if you as a Black person, I love being Black. I love every moment of being Black, and I understand all the difficulties of being Black. But if you, as a Black person, cannot understand how a person who owned a store in Koreatown would feel about the '92 riots and feel a little apprehensive and different right now, like you're not listening, you're not paying attention.
Right.
And we have to listen to each other. And I think that's what hasn't been happening. Everybody's been talking, but nobody's really been listening. And this should be a time when we're paying attention to each other's voices. You know what I'm saying?
100%, man. I'm so glad you called. Honestly, man, it's like it feels like a load.
Yeah,
has been taken off. Like I feel like that's
For
what
sure.
I think that's exactly what we're trying to do and what we were trying to say too. But you said it like way better. And we're the fucking host of this shit. No, you did say it way better. No, it's real though, and you're completely right about those moments not being seen. You know, we only have a couple of images of those in '92, all those documentaries.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that's been shared forever.
for sure.
Yeah.
And if it was all out of these peace protests, it wouldn't sell as much. They need to see the carnage and all that too.
The chaos teaches a lesson. I mean,
Exactly.
it makes you uncomfortable. If you don't think that it's uncomfortable to be pulled over by a police officer, I mean, I'm almost 44 years old, man. I'm still uncomfortable. I'm a man. I pay taxes. I own my home. I own properties. I got 2 businesses. I work for a living, and when the cops pull me over, man, I feel like a 16-year-old child.
Mhm.
So, man,
Damn.
it's incredibly difficult to, and half the time, more than half the time, nothing happens, y'all. Like, I don't want to send out this message that every time I'm pulled over, I'm slammed on the concrete or whatever, but I have been. You know what I'm saying? I have been with no criminal record. So it's impossible to understand somebody if you do not listen to their experience, and that's what this time should be. Before, if you're not out there protesting, you should be listening. You should be paying attention.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
that's real shit, man. That experience is something that the other communities cannot relate to. You know what I'm saying? It's a very specific Black experience. Let me ask you this, Trek.
Sure.
For an Asian person who brings up recent xenophobic attacks because of COVID towards the Asian community, which there's been videos of the Black community participating in this, and not all have been Black. There's been white too and all that. But I think a lot of these internet media outlets, a lot of the videos have been between the Black and Asian community. How would you address that?
First of all, to see it is embarrassing for me. It's absolutely embarrassing for me. It's hard not to take responsibility for every action of your own community, right? Like you feel like, man, come on, dude, what are you guys doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what I will say directly is there's no excuse for it, and I refuse to make an excuse for it. What needs to be done is anybody that's listening right now that is you know what I'm saying, of Pan-African culture needs to check your homies, check your cousins, check your uncles, check everybody that is out there perpetuating this racism and violence and prejudice towards Asian folks over something that come on, who are you blaming at this point? And matter of fact, I'll tell you this much. Even if the individual was to blame, it is not your place to attack them in that manner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I have been fairly vocal about it. You know what I'm saying? With everything going on, it's like social media is one post to the next. It seems like you're just like posting an outrage every 10 seconds. Like, yo, stop assaulting Asians. Yo, stop beating up Black folks. Yo, don't do it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But, my direct comment my direct answer to your question is there is no excuse for it. And if you are a Black American, you should not be excusing it. You should be calling it out. And you should be deading it right now.
And I'll tell you right now, that's the responsibility we have to bear in our communities, hold accountability for our community, and that's I think how we're going to show solidarity, like with communication between you, cats like you, and us, to really facilitate and speak the language, of our people, like as we bring it back to the community,
Exactly. That's what we did. That's what we all did, man. We all got in. We started rhyming. We started DJing together. We communed together. We broke bread together. We failed together. We succeeded together. Like, we've done all this together as artists and as communities who are speaking our voices from different platforms, different zones, different backgrounds, different parenting that kind of crosses. I don't know, I got spanking, so I don't know if y'all did, but that's where I tend to meet in the middle. But we come from different backgrounds and ideologies, and it's very important that we turn around and say, yo, I know Trek, I know Dumb, I know, what I'm saying, Duke Westlake, I know these individuals, I know the type of people that they are, so don't turn around and make up this story that they're anything the news tells you they are. I know that person, he's just like me, and recognize the difference, but respect each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what's up, Trek. Yo, I appreciate you calling in, man. That was super needed right now.
That was amazing.
Oh yeah,
Much love, man.
bombs.
Thank you,
I
Trek.
appreciate y'all, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I love y'all, man, and thank you guys. And really, really, really love y'all success. I want to make sure I haven't got a chance to tell y'all that. watching you and your crew, and I really, really appreciate what y'all doing.
Yo,
Man. Keep it
Trek,
up.
much love, man. I hope we can catch up real soon, brother.
Hopefully so, man. Holla at me. I'm around.
Yes,
Peace,
sir.
Trek.
Take care.
Peace.
Trek life, ladies and gentlemen.
Go follow that man.
I wish I had a
follow him,
button
man.
with the ill explosions. We gotta load up the
soundboard.
applaud. We gotta get the soundboard, Tony.
Yeah.
I got you.
Tony has 3 sounds. He's like, yeah, sick ass fool.
Pretty dope.
Pretty dope. That's a funny idea to think that Tony like doesn't even want to like put energy into saying that, so he puts it on the soundboard.
How'd you know?
That's all the soundboard right now. Tony talking right now. It's all soundboard.
Oh my
God. Much love, man. I'm loving this dialogue, man. I'm
Yeah,
telling
right.
you right now. And please, man, like, we're here really. We want to listen, man. I really don't want to fight with people. I just want to converse, you know. And let's put away our pride. Pride could be a monster, man. You know what I'm saying? Pride is a monster that can really destroy our own community as well as the solidarity and the work people have been doing between 2 communities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Put that pride aside, man. Real shit is a monster, bro. Okay.
Who's that?
What are we talking about? Yeah, let's get AK. I think AK's been just in the chat going crazy.
AK's got an AK
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Hold on. Let me lower you.
Let's adjust the
Hey, what's
volume.
happening?
AK is the young homie who's very vocal. At a lot of protests, at a lot of campaigns. Been seeing this, and on Twitter, this motherfucker on Twitter like every fucking 15 seconds tweeting some shit. What's up, bro? You hear us? AK?
I think he's readjusting. Right
Okay,
now.
Yo,
AK.
am I supposed to
Right.
hear the volume from the stream? Because it'd be like lagging, right?
Nah, yeah, don't focus on the stream. Just
Turn
focus
it
on the
down.
Discord. You just talk to us here on the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up,
What's
bro?
up,
How are
bro?
you?
All right, so yeah, what's up? What up, y'all? What up, Dom? What up, Tony? What up, Rick? What
How
up?
you
what
doing,
up,
young
what up?
comrade? What's up?
Just chilling, bro. Yeah, I wanted to just start with the point that Trek Life said. Like, a lot of the solidarity that goes beyond Black and Asian people is not seen, bro. Cause like,
Yeah.
I seen the street side and the school side. So when you in jail, the Asian fools roll with the black car, right? People don't see that, and I feel like a lot of Asians don't realize that. I don't know. This may be my personal experience, but Black people have come to bat for me more than vice versa. You know, I haven't really seen much Asian people go to bat for Black people the same way. Like, but that's just maybe me because. And then when I go to school and I go to the Asian American classes and the African American classes, you never see no Asian kids in the Black classes, but you see Black, Hispanic kids all in the Asian classes trying to learn, you know? So I gotta tell like my Asian homies like, y'all gotta like try harder, like real shit. Like drop the pride. Like real
I
shit.
fuck with everything you just said because you did keep it real. He came in with some real like straight from the heart experience kind of shit. And yo, I agree, man. I agree. I do think I think that part doesn't get shared a lot. You know, that those moments of solidarity that we've all experienced. You know what I'm saying?
And another thing is like what the homie Eric said, how like he was kind of afraid to confront his parents. Like what you said, like Malcolm taught us how to be rebellious. So I feel like Asian kids got to kind of like stand up to their parents a little bit. Like they don't just send us to school to get educated just so we could follow the same like outdated fucking shit that they follow. The whole, you know, like we gotta teach them.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think not all the time it's fear with the parents. Like I'm afraid to talk to my parents. I think Asian kids a lot of times have given up on their parents. You know, with educating. You know, and I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like I'm trying to explain some shit to my mom later. I'm like, no, it's not important. Yeah. Because I don't want to break down. You know what I'm saying?
But I
Like
think,
it
like,
gets
we-
frustrating.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a push come to shove thing, cause like my mom, like as much as I tell her, you gotta kind of be wanting to be receptive to the message to like want to take it.
Right.
And sometimes you gotta just kind of like wait for people to like. Society comes to a point where it doesn't really give people a choice at one point, you know. And when it comes to that point, people gotta make a decision to draw the line in the sand. Like who you standing with.
Yeah, no, that's real, man. I should have taught my mom the internet. I dead ass didn't.
Oh no, damn! I see you tweet about that shit. Like I don't, like
I
my
felt
mom
bad.
too, bro. Like
Yes. I was like, that would have solved all this problem. Like,
no, but another thing with like these Asians that keep talking about like, oh, Black people do us wrong and shit. Like, bro, my grandpa wasn't like he got his shit fucked up in the riots too, and like, it's you just gotta come to a point where it's like you were just like kind of collateral. Like it wasn't like personal. You feel me? Like. And I don't know, I truly believe in like forgiveness and second chances, like cancel culture and all that shit. Like, you can't just demonize people, you know, like they could come back and be someone. I don't know. Tell me what y'all think about that.
No, I get you, man. It's just the thing about it is it's not as easy for everybody else, you know, and we got to understand that too. You know, I understand. Dude, you have experience where you have tons of black friends. Not everyone has black friends. Like Asian kids, a lot of these Asian kids are probably hitting us in the DM, probably don't have many black friends.
No, you're right, but I think that's like, you kind of got to throw yourself in the fire. I feel like a lot of Asian kids live their lives trying to avoid any type of confrontation or conflict. Like, you kind of got to, like, just, like, lack of a better term, just straight up not be a pussy and just kind of throw yourself in the fire.
But here's the thing. That's the thing. It's funny because I think a lot of the Asian kids think they are, you know, being bold or stepping up because they're like down to fight for their people. If you want to be really bold and brave, you got to fight for everybody, man.
Exactly. You got to fight against your own people. That's the hardest thing.
That's really stepping out and having courage, man. Really stepping out for somebody who is not even your, you know, like, you know, and then it's I don't know what I lost my train of thought, but you know what I'm fucking trying to say.
And it shows you like your character, because that's like true courage. Like, stop being a sheep and just like, you know, you feel the pressure from your people. They say one thing and then you like fold. Like, I don't know. That's why I feel like I got to stress education the most, because you're not going to let people sway you if you're educated. Like, you know, if you know the shit yourself, you're not going to let someone tell you what the fuck it is, because you know what it is.
It's tough, man, and that's, you know, I'll tell you right now, I had that same issue for me. You know, the most recent challenge for me to step up and be bold was speaking on the K-Town, you know, 92 riots and the rooftop Koreans and talking about that, because I knew that what is my people gonna think of me? We have such deep-rooted history with the relationship, you know, and I was like,
they're right too. And sorry, keep going.
Yeah, but the grander scheme of things is like, no, I have a duty, man. You know, this could become a very, very dangerous situation for years to come, and the solidarity between two communities, man. Right. I just knew the type. I know the type of friends I have about how they feel about this, and I know that they necessarily can't communicate the way I can with the people. And if I have that gift and I have something and this knowledge that I have to share it the proper way, man. Yeah. If you think that, like, you know, cats in your community can't speak up, you have to. It's your duty to speak up, man. You have to, man.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Big facts. But it comes in like two sides. Like, you'll speak up, and then the people kind of agree with you, and then there's people that kind of push back, and then you kind of got to do the work like there too. You got to kind of like teach them, and oftentimes it comes with a lot of tenuous energy. Like, you know, it's a lot of like. And you can't really be afraid of that. Like, shit, a motherfucker might want to fight your ass, you know, and fucking, it's just gonna come to that one day. Like, I don't know.
We were talking about this the other day. You know, I was talking about how this week has been such a heavy week, but you know, there's people who have had a heavy life because of their skin color, bro. Walking out the fucking door and getting pulled over on a traffic stop.
500 years, bro. Seeing the grandparents and the parents brutalized, like that shit. I don't know. Like, people don't understand that again.
I think we really got to look. I mean, you know, and this is something we were not going to cover all in this one podcast. You're going to have to educate yourself, but know that it's deep rooted. It goes back generations, you know, and the history of this country. And you gotta really educate yourself on that part. We're talking kind of more surface level stuff, I guess, right now.
Yeah,
but
for sure. I mean, AK, we all agree that empathy is needed. You know what I'm saying? On like a small scale, large scale too. Like, we need to empathize with the people that are having tough lives, not just tough weeks. And also, we need to zoom in and, like, I see, you know, if you're fiery, you got that energy, you see that strength, you've been through shit, so you've been calloused, and you kind of fearless the way you speak, you know. But we also have to empathize that some people are not like that, you know. They're just not like that yet, or they haven't had life experiences where they have that boldness that you do. So to move as a unit, we also have to empathize on the fact that it's just, everyone has we all have to switch shoes, and everyone has their own
okay, let me
thoughts,
ask you this, Rick. What would you do? Like, if you're trying to communicate, like, what is the right way to get them to speak up? Do you do the boot camp style? Like, don't be a bitch. Like,
no,
or do you
play it by ear?
I think
I want to interject.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, it's just, I think an open forum is the best way. Just having like interaction like this, like having a live chat like this, and having, because when you say something stupid or ignorant, it gets snuffed out in the comment section. The people are there listening. The audience becomes part of the truth, you know. And
that's true.
And the beauty of having an open forum is if I say something wrong or I say something that may be off, I could learn. It's just a real time situation.
Yeah.
Like what Trek was saying. What Trek was saying. My bad, AK. What he was saying was less monologues, more dialogue, more conversations. Right. So everything was one way. Same thing with, I mean, you know, not to get spiritual, but like same with prayer. Like if you just think it's a one way communication and there's no dialogue, you might as well not have a relationship with it.
That's not a prayer.
You know, that's not a prayer.
That's a sermon.
Or a wish list or plead, you know, but to have dialogue, you have to also listen, dude. And to be honest with you, I've learned that recently within myself. It's like, dude, I thought I was a great listener because my output is so good. But I realized I need to work on, you know, listening.
100%. I'm not a great listener too.
Yeah, so that dialogue is necessary. But go ahead, AK.
I completely agree with you. Like, but I feel like honestly,
listener.
to truly change someone's heart is really hard to do it in like a public forum. I feel like you gotta sit them down on like a one-on-one, like where it's not like you're trying to like sun nobody or no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, I think like this kind of size, it's like talking about a small home church or like a mega church. But this intimacy that we still have, us being artists and us not being on stage and like trying to project or present art to you or something that we made, us having this talk where we could just literally, you know, call in one-on-one like this. I think this intimacy level is perfect for change, because if it's if it's too large of a crowd, people may be too scared to, you know, people with digital stage fright, dude.
Or it turns into
ego gets in the way,
or it acts
Precisely.
or it accidentally turns into a performance.
Precisely.
And that's what you don't want.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think he's talking more, you know, just one-on-one, but like people at home with their with people.
No, that's the most. I mean, it's same thing. Like people, you know, when you go to, as Koreans, when we go to like hagwons or college preps, right?
Yeah.
The more expensive one is the one-on-one tutor. You know, you always definitely that one-on-one. You know, you get
education system's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
you could be saying the same thing to one person, but then if there's people there, it's a different message.
Yeah.
It's like that thing, like people don't really care how much you know unless they know how much you care, right?
Sorry, I didn't hear. I'm not gonna lie. I just nodded. What'd you say?
Or like people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. Like we don't give a fuck how smart you are unless you're down for the, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I hear you, man. It's just right now the oversaturation in all aspects, man. Art, info, just I realize that I don't have the capacity or the energy to really keep up and discuss like, yo, which one is true, good intentions, what's bad intentions. I realized if I think that, I'm going to be exhausted on my output. You know what I mean? So I'm worried about what I'm doing and where my heart is at.
I'm really obsessive about that too. Like you guys said, I don't really like to check people like, oh, motherfuckers being fake and this and that. But it really does leave like a disgust in my mouth when I truly know someone really not about it and they just faking it. You know?
Maybe.
What's the thing that's bugging you right now with everything going on with Black Lives Matter? Like, what have you experienced recently that is something that, you know, feels
it's grinding your gears,
not authentic or grinding your gears?
Well, I guess like when you guys brought up the black square thing, I completely agree with you guys. Like, I'm not trying to like, at the end of the day, you post it and that shows solidarity. That's cool. But like, I don't know. It's just funny when I see people be posting selfies this whole fucking week, haven't even mentioned that shit once. You feel me?
Right.
And they post that shit, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. I'm not trying to hate, but obviously, like, I can't help. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's kind of weird.
No, I agree with that. I think that's completely tone deaf.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's like going to a funeral and like, you know, I don't know, playing reggaeton or something.
Exactly. But I don't want to be the guy to like check them and then they're gonna feel some type of way and then they're just gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like, well, if you're a bitch, you'll do that. If you're not a bitch, you'll like take that and then you'll like try to learn from it.
No, I hear you, dude. It's just like, you know, people like to participate, you know what I'm saying? And with that black square thing too, like I'm pretty sure it had good intentions, but because it was like, you know, people putting it up and then people putting it down saying, oh, don't do this, it became like that. We're losing focus on the real thing, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of distractions like that. So I don't want to even think about, is this person putting it up? Oh, if they put it up, good. I want to have the benefit of the doubt. They're doing that because they, you know, they're trying to push the movement.
I think it's just about. Right. I think it's about.
If we think Kumang like that much, then we're just gonna be. It's so heavy.
Here's
bro.
the thing. We gotta.
You're right. We gotta leave the door open for them to like.
Bro.
Yeah, and also if you're gonna really get involved, we gotta be organized, and we gotta put our focus into the right things. And like
the Hong Kong protesters don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
So crazy,
but I'm saying even organized mindset and where you're focusing your thing, what your thing is. You know, like for me, it's like I'm gonna try to focus directly in the Asian community. You know what I'm saying, and try to get these resources to Asians. And you know, and then you could be like, oh no, everyone should get the resources. That's the same shit as like all lives matter. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the focus into the right things. You know.
Yeah, there's one house on fire, guys. Like, come on. Now.
It's being organized. But yo, AK, thanks, man. Is there anything else you want to add in? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. Like, to all the Asian kids out there, like, I know there's not a lot of Asian, like, whatever. Like, people say there's not a lot of Asian people to look up to and stuff. Bro, I grew up just straight up idolizing Bruce Lee and Malcolm X, and I feel like a lot of times kids or like Asian kids, they'd be like, oh, I don't want to be criticized for like acting black or like too black, like, you know, like there ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Like, show love. Like, what's wrong with idolizing Malcolm X? Like, you know what I mean? Learn from that. Learn from everybody. Don't matter white, black, whatever. So that's just what
yeah, man. I mean, I think a lot of times people get it twisted about. There is a cultural appropriation with black culture, but there's also a lot of people inspired by black culture. Don't attack the people who are inspired by amazing black heroes, man.
Yeah.
Don't
like,
attack those
people.
people.
Like, oh, you talk black. They always trying to shame you.
Yeah, man. Don't attack those people, man. You know, these are people who look up to other black heroes as inspiration. That's a good thing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and imitation is the biggest admiration, right? So I don't know. It's just like
y'all don't do that shit with like motherfuckers who follow these white heroes. Why are you gonna do that? You know, on this other end.
It's that white supremacy shit, bro. It's just like conditioned into us to like shame anything that's like black. You know what I mean? It's fucking whack.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yo, AK, thanks, man.
Okay, thank you.
And love, y'all. Straight up love.
Yeah. Join us next time again, brother. You brought up some really good points. Thank you, bro.
Thanks.
Peace. Young AK. Who else we got? We got some good combos, man. This is fucking
that was
great. I love this shit right now. Let's go.
We got
let's take about 2-3 more and then call. I think we got a lot of good points across.
Oh no.
What's up, Oh no? Hello?
Yo.
Oh no, not Joe.
Yo.
How you doing, man?
So you just left.
Oh no.
Yo.
Oh no. Hello. Oh no. Oh no.
Yo.
No.
Keeps Yo. Hello.
We can try Oh no again if he's not coming through. We'll come back. It was always weird about people who said like I act black, and then I had people saying I act black, and I had another group was like, you're whitewashed. I was like, what am I? I was like, what am I? Yeah, it was a weird thing.
You probably say you act black because you rap. You act black because you back.
But then, like, I guess, like, I sound kind of like I have that when black people make fun of white people voice.
Yeah.
But that's like my natural voice. Right. It's like, okay.
My bad. Discord crashed real quick. Let me restart it.
Is that the buffer? What is that?
All right.
All
Okay.
right.
Yo.
Who we got?
You back?
Hello?
5 more seconds. All right.
Okay.
I'll get back
We'll
to you.
try again. Oh, no. Sorry about that.
All right. We got Freeloader MC.
Freeloader MC. How you doing, man? Broadcasting live from his girlfriend's couch.
Yo.
What's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
What's up, man?
What's good?
Good.
Yeah, how you doing, bro?
So I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on like how, since one of the officers involved in the whole in the killing is Asian, I just wanted your guys' thoughts on like how it makes us look as like a people, because I've been hearing a whole bunch of different things. I've been hearing stuff like, you know, because like kind of the racism is deep rooted within our culture, and that's kind of where it starts from, and that's kind of why that kind of takes a part in why there was an Asian American in part of the killing. So I just kind of wanted your guys' opinions on that.
I don't know
I think there is some there is some grounded basis on that statement.
Yeah. Well, first of all, do you hear us? Hello?
Yo.
I think he has us muted or something, because he hasn't been responding. Hello? Do you have us muted?
Oh.
Could you check
Yo.
that? Yeah. Can you hear us?
Wait. Hello?
Yo.
Yeah, I think you're listening.
yeah, I
you're
can hear
listening to the Twitch stream. You got to listen to the Discord, bro, because I think there's gonna be a lag right now for you.
Oh, my bad.
No,
bad.
not a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Hello? Okay.
Yo.
Do you hear us live right now?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
So,
right, my
just
bad.
in
Okay.
response, in response to what you were saying, I mean, I don't know the personal history of the Asian cop
Right.
or anything. Like, I don't know if he has like racist ties or anything.
Yeah.
But far as accountability, yes, I do think we should hold him accountable. And I think what people were really pointing out was more of like a privilege that we haven't spoken about, you know, you know, amongst our community. And people kind of made him more of like the symbol of that.
Yeah.
You know, which I get, but I don't know.
Right. I mean, I see it in a couple ways. Like, number one, as a unit, as cops, you know, when you see someone getting snuffed out, you not saying anything, you know, like even with the onlookers just saying, yo, he's not moving, he's not breathing. There were uncomfortable moments, like lengths of time when I was like, dude, if he just said something or enforced something.
Right.
Yeah.
As not as an officer, but as a human being, as seeing another man's life, just
And that silence became a symbol, though.
And
it's
so-
like the
Right,
perfect.
right,
It's
right.
almost like the perfect symbol
so
for
back
our
to your
community.
question,
It's,
back to your question about how does it look, like us, our people feel or look. It's you could see that in many ways. You could see it as if it was flipped and it was an Asian cop doing that and a white person was there. You know, I've read something like that. If it would he have intervened? Would they have listened or something like that? I think the submissiveness kind of showed a little bit over there. You know what I mean? Just kind of like the fear of just following. But I don't know too much of the situation, but that's just what it looked like to me. You know?
And I think it makes us all look just that much worse because we already have this kind of stereotype of being.
It was just it was unfortunate
the
positioning too. Yeah, like
Right,
with,
right,
That shit was
exactly.
like
Yeah.
a,
with the other
fucking
cops
metaphor.
actually on the actually on the body,
Right.
and you know the cop just standing there with his hands on his hips.
when you
know?
see all the memes around it, it is almost like such a perfect metaphor for like this country, dude.
yeah,
You know,
Right, right, yeah,
and
for
those
sure.
three like ethnic groups involved. But yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much.
it's just very unfortunate.
Right, for sure.
we don't claim him.
We don't claim him.
Wait,
Go ahead, sir.
but yeah. Oh yeah. I also wanted your guys' thoughts on. So I've been hearing some Asian folks saying that they don't want to be in solidarity with Black lives because they haven't seen, because of like the racism against Asians due to COVID. They haven't seen any Black people stand up for us, so therefore they think that they shouldn't stand up for Black people, which is a statement I completely disagree with. I think
we kind of covered.
We covered that early, but we will repeat it.
Okay, for sure.
We repeat it, just saying, I'd like to challenge them to see if they stood up for Black people before COVID.
Right.
This isn't a new event. You know what I'm saying? This has been going on for a long, long time, bro. We're talking even before 1992 Los Angeles riots. We're talking the beginning of time of American history. So I'd like to challenge them with that. And also, dude, the Black civil rights movement laid the foundation for these protests and how to protest for people of color all across the country, man. I'll tell you right now, that time is gonna come, and you'll see, man. We'll see what our legacy will be in this country. I really encourage people to be on the right side of history.
Not
man.
only protests,
For
but
sure.
they help get legislation passed and shit that we rights and stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah.
Right.
We
I think
benefit
it's
from.
outside of, unfortunately right now it's a color thing. There's going to be different groups of victims or people going through oppression, but that's what we're fighting. It's the oppression. It's the fact that the system can be doing this and enforcing stuff that they want to do. We're tired of that bullshit, So that's what we're fighting for as well.
Right, for sure.
Go
I
ahead.
also see it as like you shouldn't be fighting for another race because you think that they might be able to do something for you. You should be fighting because
It's a human thing.
it's something. Yeah.
It's a human thing. We have to
human
look
rights thing.
see.
It's human nature.
That response already tells me their mentality is us versus them, which is not
Right.
the mentality we need to
Or
be
not
having.
even versus them, but just us, and them.
Right.
It's just I completely agree.
Yeah. It just sounds like a justification of their own racism. It's like they're using the racism against them as an excuse for their own racism.
Yeah, and when a young person says that to me, it's like you have old mentality. You have old racist roots mentality of the way the racists were thinking back then. You know what I'm saying? And That's dangerous to me, man. Young people with that mentality is so dangerous, bro.
Right, for sure.
Man, thanks for calling in, though, bro. I'm glad. I feel like we kind of addressed that a little cleaner this time around, anyway. So
Okay, for sure.
That's good. We're just talking, man.
we were like, we didn't have
Yeah.
anything really prepared coming into this, which we probably should have. But thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
No, I was like, yeah, I definitely enjoy y'all's podcast. Like,
Awesome.
I
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
Appreciate it.
everything you guys are doing. Yeah.
Thanks for contributing. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Let's take one more.
This
What do you
feels
think?
good, man.
Yeah, it feels
The
great,
dialogue
man.
is
I
nice,
love it,
dude.
man. This is like
I want to talk to someone who's not, you know, in the chat room. That was kind of, you know, what was he saying? The guy
who
he was kind of like disagreeing.
I mean, I invited him to talk. It was like Paul's modeling company or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
We
Why
got
does-
we
just
got
keep
Saw. He was waiting for a while.
No, that would be great. I'd love to hear his perspective on it
For
because,
sure,
and
yeah.
I understand everything he's been putting.
Yeah,
in,
he might
you
not
know?
even be disagreeing.
He
We
could
might
be,
be
and it
saying
could
the
come
same-
from a business, like a family business
sure.
that got destroyed. I'm sure there's different perspectives, and I get that. You know, but I'd love to hear. I would have loved to heard that. You know, but he's not here in the chat, I think, anymore because he was like, "Fuck these fools."
We got Saw up next.
Who?
Oh,
Saw.
What up, Saw?
You and
what's up, guys?
Saw,
What's
dude.
up, man?
Saw, dude.
What's good?
So, yeah, I just wanted to echo like what you guys said just now, which was like a lot of the rights that like we Asian people enjoy right now is thanks to the Black community and Black civil rights activists that have been putting in the work for like literally centuries. Like if you look at the U.S. Immigration Act of 1965, like literally none of us would be in this country if it weren't for Black activists. Like our existence is owed to Black people.
Wow.
Wow, man. Thank you.
Let's go.
Let's
I could just
go.
say I could say something and then bring in the facts.
That's like, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm like, we probably should have had that fact.
Yeah.
And I just want to,
I knew. I just couldn't. I forgot to. Go on.
Did you know that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we knew we were getting
Yeah,
to it.
no, I
Obviously,
knew, but I
we were
just
gonna get
didn't-
to that.
Yeah.
It just slipped my mind.
Go ahead. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and I just want to tell everyone in the chat, you know, I've been seeing a lot of like anger and rage against, you know, Asian communities being hurt by the Black community during like protests and riots and stuff. And like, you know, it's okay to feel angry. Like this is a very tough time for all of us. And if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling, you know, frustrated, upset that our communities are suffering because of this, the anger is misplaced if it's directed at Black communities. We need to be angry at the systems that like allowed this to happen in the first place. And
Yep.
like, and like we need to put that energy and anger towards, you know, like things that are going to help our communities get out of this. You know, things like defunding the police, calling your representatives, signing petitions, emailing your representatives. Find out who represents you and do the work that is going to help our communities heal and bond instead of just playing this blame game between, you know, different groups of color when it's really the white supremacist structure that holds all of this up.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, you know the
Facts.
protests,
Facts.
all that stuff is dope. But like, what's next? What's the angle? What do we want? You know, I saw some live footage from the scene, and then I saw, you know, the protesters and the cop, they were right face to face, and then the protester didn't exactly know what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just kind of like, damn, like that's kind of, you know, represents like what's kind of what I see going on.
Everyone just yelling.
Yeah, we need to find, like you said, we need to find real solutions.
But that's the truth, though. What he just said is so true. Like, the work just isn't being done. The extent of their work is literally putting a comment under some Instagram and complaining.
Could you explain to me exactly, like when you say defunding the police? I've seen that everywhere. Like, what does that entail?
Taking away from their budgets.
Like, so, and how does that like taking away from their budgets to go where? Like, you know, just explain to me like I'm done.
Back into the community. Take like, you know, LA.
Put more money into education instead of militarizing the police.
The percentage of like the budget is going to police and being taken away from like programs to help build the, you know, community.
Right.
Jobs.
There's a time. What happened was there's a time that we gave too much power to the police. And the truth is the Asian community sympathizes a lot with the police because we've enjoyed, you know, less harassment from the police, unlike the Black community. You know, it's true. That's a privilege that's just there. You can't even not acknowledge that. And I don't understand when people try to compare the two struggles together with and not even I'm not saying struggles, it's direct experience from the police alone.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people upset.
Yo, who's this caller right here?
This is Saw.
Saw, yo, thank you so much, man, for dropping some gems over here. This is like, that was well fucking needed,
Is this Saw or Sauce Tech?
Yeah, I'm Sauce Tech in the chat.
What up, Sauce Tech?
What's up,
What's
Saw?
up?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Love you,
That was very needed. You know, another gem dropped in this conversation today.
Great guy.
Thank you, bro. Is there anything else you want to add to this? Actually, I would love to hear more from you.
I mean, basically just like, you know, the research is out there. Like, I am someone who's also learning during this time, and like I encourage everyone who's listening to this right now to go educate yourselves. And you know, if you dive deeper and deeper and deeper, you just realize all these different things that'll allow you to know what the next steps to take are. And it's out there. You just gotta look for it. That's all.
Awesome, Saw. Thank you so much, brother. Take care.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you, Saw.
Appreciate you, man.
Yo, we got one more special guest.
Sure. Who's this?
Let me see.
Man, this has been great, guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Oh yeah, we'd love to talk. There's the guy right there, Paul's Modeling Company. I mean, I'd love to hear the perspective. You know what I'm saying? Please share with us. He said not
Join the Discord, Paul. But we got the homie right here. Let me see.
Can you further elaborate? He said not everyone has Asian privilege. I'm talking what Asians, but I'd love to hear from you what you're talking about. Because I got a comment the other day. This is another comment that I got. There was a guy, the Asian dude from like, he grew up with mostly I guess black people in like like a project neighborhood or something. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about like he was really saying like I was picked on every single day and all this shit, what are you gonna say to someone like me? They want to just show love to the Asians who have that privilege or whatever. I say it like this: once you become when you become a part of the system, like say you got there was a story with that white kid who joined the Crips. Do you remember this? Like it was like he joined like some kind of Crips or something like that. Something happened, a shooting happened. Okay. It's something I'm saying like a Crip gang, and like somebody got shot. And when they went through the judicial system, he's the only one that got away scot-free, clean. Mm-hmm. It's the same situation. They were all in the car or whatever, came across the same thing. I'm just saying there is a privilege that exists. You know what I'm saying? And we can't ignore that.
My
bad. Go on.
No, go ahead. Go
ahead. All right. There's so many issues. Even within the Asian community. East Asians. Don't always include like the South, East Asians, and all that stuff. Like, but right now this is the issue. At hand. But then that's some stuff we gotta work out too. My writer homie Jay King. He's calling out a lot of these like upwardly mobile like Asian doctor and like journalist types. He's like, yo, you guys saying you don't claim the Officer Tu Tao, you never claimed him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not Korean, Chinese, Japanese. Right. Like there's issues, but at this moment, I think we gotta focus on what's going on. But there are a lot of issues to be addressed just within our own community. I think, and it's great that we're having those conversations now because of the things going on. Yeah, and
you know what? Stop. Let's not keep pointing the fingers. It has to all start. It has.
Turn down the stream.
Who's that? It has to all start from somewhere, man. It has to all start from somewhere. Just like it really starts from the man in the mirror, man. Real shit. That's something I just made up completely. No, but real talk, man. Just just take away all the bullshit and just look at yourself.
You know why people are upset during these times, like even more sometimes, is because people are telling them how to feel. You know what I mean? People are emotional. You can't tell the person, the nephew of the lady who got acid thrown on her, and be like, "Yo, we need to worry about." It's hard for them to get over what they know now, in their sight, in their view now, So when we talk about do your history or do you don't understand the plight of the black community on all these things, some people are just not it's not even at the point where they don't care, they're indifferent. It's just they know what they see, out of sight, out of mind for that situation, you know? So during this time of unrest and everyone is kind of vocal about it, even the people that are not being vocal, it's not that they don't want to be vocal. They're trying to figure out how to be, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to understand, they're trying to process all this. Like with us too, I want to be careful with what I say, especially with the live audience and all this. If I didn't process it or think about it, just because we're trying to fill in with content, you know?
Yeah.
So people that are going through this shit, it's hard for them to be like, okay, we're talking in permanent markers. Now we're going to stop thinking like this. And now we're going to stop thinking these type of people are like this. It's these are very high expectations for people to change anyway in life.
And I'll tell you right now, bro, that's why I wanted to have this conversation with us three, including you and me. Like, I'm not the best communicator. We all aren't. But us combined or literally shows like how different people communicate or empathize. You know what I'm saying? And the same dude, Paul's Modeling Company, is thanking you. For real. He seems like a Korean cat from K-Town, NYC. So that's real, man. It's the conversation, man. Like, at least we're creating the dialogue. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like him. But at least I just want to bring up all the points. Let's bring up all the points. Sure. Let's put it on the table. Let's even get callers from the outside. Let's have a dialogue, man. The internet is the internet is a tough place to have these conversations. Right. You know what I'm saying? We look at a comment, we got to come back with a snarky remark.
Think
and
about
it just continues.
When you're in a relationship, how toxic a texting could be. Just because the words that you see and read, like, you don't know what tone, how she said, how we said it. It's like, we need to have dialogue. We need to have this type of real-time conversation, man. It's beautiful, man.
Let's get to the caller.
We got one more special guest. We got the homie J Key.
Oh, there he is, J Key Cho,
the voice of NY. Yo.
Righteous.
Righteous.
Where is he?
He should be in here. Yo. Hello.
Check yo. What do you know?
Yo.
What do you gonna know?
What's up, bro?
Hold on. J Key. Yo. Okay.
All right, this fool's
yo. There he is.
Hello.
Yo.
What up, J Key?
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, man? How are you?
Well, it's good, man. I'm good, man. What's going on with y'all, man? Yo, appreciate y'all bringing this conversation to life.
Yeah. No worries, bro. I mean, it's just, we were gonna have a podcast anyways this week, but we had to address it. Like, we're not gonna address it. We're gonna
talk about summer.
Yeah, let's talk about Tiger King. Did you watch the series? Yeah. What's up, bro?
Nah, man. I just finished watching the Obama making the address in that panel that he's on, and it just kind of really made me miss like having a real leadership figure who could convey various emotions and kind of really champion all walks of life without segregating anybody and just conveying facts. You know what I mean? And it just really made me I didn't always agree with all the policies that he implemented or conveyed, but man, just watching that man like addressing the protesters, the young people, and just all civil rights movements throughout history, it just really made me miss that guy, man.
Yo, good point, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, even in a family situation, in parenting, if you see the parents kind of tumultuous, just violent and being insensitive, it trickles down to the kids, and that family setting is there's an unrest to it. So, like, even with us, with the government to look up, like, when we see the photo op at the church with the tear gassing and all, and we see just like crazy insensitivity, it's like, how are the people that's supposed to, how are we supposed to get tranquil with it? We can't find peace when the leadership's like that.
Yeah. That's a good point. We didn't talk about that, but just going all the way to the source.
Yeah.
But like, even with terrible leadership, we found pretty great organization and unity, honestly. If you look at what's going on in this country with that terrible leadership, like, obviously there's things that went kind of wild in the first few days or whatever, but things are even getting more, organized and everything.
Yo, Jackie.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, my bad. You got something to say?
Nah. You about to say something?
I was just gonna ask you, because like we're out here in LA. Like, how you feel, like coming from New York? Like, what's the situation out there?
I feel like, for the most part, a lot of the, I'm out in Brooklyn right now. I mean, there's definitely a lot of attempts of people looting of small businesses in Manhattan, parts of the Bronx. Some parts of Brooklyn got hit as well. But I mean, I've seen some wild shit like taking place in LA where like in Santa Monica, Chase Banks getting like looted and shit. So I don't know if it's up to that level yet in New York City, luckily. But I mean, the energy of the overall energy of the city, though, it's I feel like it's pretty much in a harmony and standing with the protesters, like, because this is like something that we all knew that has been happening for so long.
Right.
But with the pandemic, that kind of pretty much put everybody in their homes for the past 2 to 3 months, and everybody's been hyper focused on what's been happening in the media and the news.
Yep.
And I think this was kind of like the tipping point that really made people, really just go out and voice their concerns. And I mean, I'm a small business owner, and as much as like I feel the need to protect, to feel the need to protect my business, I also understand like, the sentiment of young people going out there to do what they do. By no way I'm endorsing that or condoning that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I kind of get like, because if you think about like the systemic racism, right? Like you got generations and generations of young black men
100%.
or young black women or young black people that, didn't really grow up with much self-esteem. And you're teaching these kids like, yo, you need to buy a Jordan every weekend. You know what I mean? You need to cop this shit. Even if you don't have the right education, you need to buy this, you need to buy this, you need to buy this. And if you just kind of like hammer that ideology into their head, like what else are you going to expect for them in this situation than to fucking go after their favorite sneaker store and try to loot that shit? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's in a way, it's just like, damn, like,
that's what
are we part of the problem as well? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, where we've reached to this point of capitalism in this country has gone out of control. That's a big problem too. But that's another discussion. But I think that's what it is. It's like understanding, even as a Korean American in Los Angeles and specifically Koreatown, like, I can't just pretend. Of course, I sympathize with the businesses. That's my people, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I understand.
1000%.
I understand, Ryan. If it happened with our side of the community, like if the roles were reversed, you don't think you'd be out and going looting and burning down buildings too? You know what I'm saying? Like the same energy you have with the passion to protect your business, you would put into looting too if you were on the other end of it. Been burning down the business. You know what I'm saying? That passion. I get that. That happens, and it's that understanding level. Like we're educated enough to understand those feelings. You know what I'm saying?
We were,
and I just kind of wanted to like convey that. You know what I mean? Because I know there's a lot of conversations still going on right now. Just about like, yo, why didn't y'all talk about this shit when these black kids were being up and being up that woman, and you know what I mean, the situation that happened in SF. But I mean, if you look at it, like even that, I feel like, yo, that's kind of like a misconstrued perception, because the kids that attacked that lady, yes, they were black kids, but y'all need to look at that as dumb kids doing dumb shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all looking at that shit as a racial thing, but in reality, it's these dumb kids. Like if it was like an Asian kid that was doing that shit, it would, it should have been the same, repercussions that they should have had.
No, that's true. And let me tell you this too. Like there's footage today that just dropped of 3 Asian kids getting bullied by 3 black kids. We got bullied for racial shit when we grew up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not excusing anything. I'm just saying, like,
I'm not trying to laugh at that.
I'm saying even when that's racially driven, those are kids.
Yeah.
We have to treat it as such, man. And we have to educate. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't use that as propaganda to turn communities against each other, and it's becoming propaganda, bro.
Yep.
Nah, 1000%, man.
Right.
I mean, this systemic racism shit, like I know a lot of other people that's been on this call. Like, I mean, somebody just dropped like the Immigration Act and all of that. I mean, yo, man, I just like to say, man, everybody got to do their Kumon, man. You know what I mean? They got to do their Kumon. And yo, I'm an advocate of restructuring the entire police system in the U.S., man. I know we talked about this in the chat, but yo, like, police authorities, they really need to go through intense training, more than 21 weeks before they are, before they get their hands on a gun, man. You know what I mean? And like, I see so many police officers, like, you know, I sometimes I empathize with them too, because, you know, like I've got my ass whooped by the cops when I was a kid.
Let's
but
talk
then now
about
as an adult, like I actually work with some of the community affairs officers, you know what I mean? So I know these guys are human beings as well. But when I see like a guy who's super out of shape, you know what I mean? And I can't even expect my man to chase down a criminal, and like
he has a gun.
My man has a gun and he's talking crazy. Then, yo, as a citizen who's paying taxes, I'm gonna have a problem with that. And I should have the right to call that shit out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think in this country, like the police brotherhood or the sisterhood is so tight that they kind of oversee the actual logical conversations that people are trying to have. You know what I mean? Like Chris Rock said, yo, some jobs can't have bad apples. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if a motherfucker got a gun, you know what I mean? You can't be a bad apple.
But it's like, you know, everyone's talking about Rick, come on, man. Okay. Switch. Everyone's talking about the bad apples, but obviously it's the branches, it's the tree, it's the roots, it's the garden. You know what I'm saying? We got to go to the root of all this, man. You know?
I like that. The out of shape idea right there, Jackie. You're right, man. And, you know, they're unhappy. What are we going to think? They're not going to chase them down, man. That's just crazy.
Yo, J-Key, I need you to suit up like the RZA and turn into Bobby Digital and make sure flushing is good.
We need you to have the gloves with the cut off fingers, the sleeveless shirt ready to go to war.
That's not
I'm talking about
today's RZA.
Yeah, I'm talking about today's RZA. They got to suit it.
Great bong for the people, man. Yo, I don't want to hold y'all for too long, man. But yo, appreciate y'all for doing this. Yo, I love you guys, man. Stay safe,
brother.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Jakey.
Love you, man. Yeah, let's take some female callers, bro. Can we do that? I feel like we not had a female caller
the whole podcast today?
Am I tripping or what? Yeah.
There's somebody new.
If there's anybody who wants to chime in, we'd love to hear from you. We want to take some female calls. I feel like it's been very testosterone driven.
Yeah.
But
that's been so long time.
Someone cosplay as a female.
I guess for now we can take Grace.
Okay, let's hear
Grace
it.
Gusta.
Let's hear it. Grace, you're on there.
Grace Gusta.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yup,
We got you.
Yeah.
Hi, Grace.
Yeah.
Hey, try to listen to. Are you live with us on the
thanks
Discord?
for taking me.
Make sure you're on live with the Discord and not the Twitch.
My name's Grace. I'm a Canadian Asian living in Germany right now.
She has her
I'm
headphones
here for
muted
studies.
right now.
You have your headphones muted right now.
Can you hear me?
You have your headphones muted. You gotta turn on Discord and not listen to the Twitch because the Twitch stream has a delay on it. Okay, we'll let that.
There we go.
Yo, okay, sorry.
Yeah, can you hear us
It's
now?
the opposite of what I wanted to do. Yeah, I can hear you
Okay,
now.
go ahead.
Tech savvy.
Yeah, so I guess I wasn't muted. I was muting you guys.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, go on.
Canadian American.
Yeah.
Canadian Asian.
Canadian. Yeah, so it's been interesting watching this new surge of Black Lives Matter come up in the social media, because this is basically the only way I can really connect with the world. If I'm talking about, if I'm talking to people who speak English that's at work.
What happened?
I think she disconnected.
I think you disconnected, Grace.
Let's see. We can
come back to her. I mean, I'd like to hear her
we-
perspective. She looked like she was about to go into something.
Yeah, she was about to go in. We got Shanwise.
Shanwise.
Shan.
Hey, how are you guys?
What's up, Shanwise?
Coming in hot. Shan coming in hot.
Coming in.
Someone
super
fan
hot.
Shan. She's coming in hot.
There you go again.
All right.
Look, it's a serious time. Okay, no time for jokes. But I just wanted to tell you guys that I appreciate the conversations being had today. I've kind of been gun ho about not wanting to educate people because I feel like it's hard to tell adults how to feel, how not to feel. But I think I'm softening on the idea. I'm a little less angry than I was last time. So.
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's hard seeing your friends who are like white say crazy stuff, and I have to, change who I associate with now, and it just kind of makes you a little cold.
Right.
So you've been seeing some shit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, from a lot of people that I've known. That
Share one goofy ass shit.
The All Lives Splatter sticker that I've seen people take.
All Lives Matter sticker? Like there's a sticker?
No, All Lives Splatter.
What is that?
And it's a sticker of someone running over people with a truck, and I've seen a lot of people I know post it.
What?
And it's like people flying over a truck and stuff. It's crazy.
Wow.
What in the world? Wait, how are these your friends as a black woman? You have someone like this in the circle or what?
No, it's that boxing event I did.
Vegas,
I met them
Vegas
all there,
different.
and we became friends.
Vegas is low.
Right. Okay, damn, that's I did not expect white lives. Wait, all lives splatter. What in the
That's too
fuck?
wild, man.
Okay.
Yes. I've seen some of my friends wear a Drunk Wives Matter t-shirt. And I was like, y'all just hijacked this
Oh
whole
my
movement.
gosh.
Drunk wives matter.
Yes, they just hijacked this movement. These people that have those black pictures and stuff are wilding.
They need to stop. They need to stop parroting Black Lives Matter as a parody shirt. It's like when Asians started doing the anti-social social club shirts.
Yes,
anti-boba, but whatever. Oh God.
There goes the boba again.
But I just think that I'm not on the train of trying to educate people, but I've noticed I posted things about like the Tulsa riots, and people aren't hip to that kind of information.
Yeah.
And just think that a lot of the issues with black people are just from one issue, but it's really the tip of the iceberg at this point. It's been multiple issues.
Right.
For sure.
And it's just hard. It's just hard to step out of how you feel, and it kind of makes you abandon all the ideas you did have because you're angry and you don't think people understand what's going on. But
right.
I'm trying to break out of that because I realize that it's very harmful to just be like, well, fuck you because you don't believe what I believe, and
Do you have any thoughts on the solidarity between Asian and black community? Because I know you have a lot of Asian friends. You are very familiar with Asian culture.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go.
I think that there's a disconnect because there's so much tension, and I think a lot of that tension is a mutual issue. It's not just one side is the culprit. It's kind of back and forth, and I think that no one understands each other's culture, so they kind of feel like they don't have a place to speak out, or they don't really want to. I think if like people I work with, I tell them stuff that they don't even know, they don't understand. Like most of I work at an international mall, so we get a lot of Asian customers, and people don't know how to talk to them or how to approach them, so they kind of have ideas that they don't want to let go of.
Right.
I think there's more solidarity than people want to believe.
Yeah, I agree. We keep not talking about this. We talk about how that disconnect is. But we don't talk about all the solidarity and relationships.
But I mean, that's why it's an exciting time, though, because Shan, like we were talking to the other guy about like don't underestimate your father and his ability to understand. Like, people are watching this simultaneously. They see the news. They see unedited, just live Twitch streams. So people are getting hip, So these conversations, the people that wouldn't understand or give the time of day after seeing this. These conversations are going to get a lot more fruitful, and I'm kind of like waiting for that to happen. There's glory in this for sure.
I think the bigger issue is that we're living in this internet age, so there's so much information at your fingertips, but now you have to filter through all of the false information and all of that propaganda and all of the stuff that you see online.
Yeah.
I
think it kind of
Go on, my bad.
No, it's cool. You can go. I'm sorry.
So I was trying to tag Asians for Black Lives, right? That's like the hashtag to show support. And then I noticed that there's an equal number of that hashtag, and there's an equal number of Asians for Trump. But then again, people are pointing out, because I didn't really even click the Asians for Trump because I was like, I don't want to fucking see that, right? But then people actually clicked it to see what it was about, and there's a lot of people flooding those Asians for Trump posts with Black Lives Matter. So that also goes to show, like, yo, man, like, if you look a little bit deeper, there is a lot of solidarity, and
I think everyone has their narrative that they want to fit in. So anything that challenges that, you kind of ignore, like actively ignore.
Yeah.
And it's hard to break out of your own ideals. It took me a long, long time to be like accepting other people. I have my issues with white people, I've had issues with cops.
Right.
And,
you've had issues with me as well.
Well, yeah, you've had issues with all of us at this table.
Yeah. Oh, no, Tony's great.
Just Tony. Tony got
Wow.
Tony's a nice one. Y'all are all.
Yeah, just wait till you get to know Tony.
Yeah. If you have problems with the 3 things Tony says, then I don't know how he rubbed you the wrong way with those 3 things. But
less is always more. Maybe y'all should.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. Thank you.
Yo, Shan, thanks for calling in. Thank you for sharing that. Okay.
Bye.
Oh, bye. My bad. Let's
Damn,
just
there-
finish.
there's-
Let's
there's
just finish
Tony's
with
credit.
that, Grace.
Yeah,
Let's just finish up with Grace, guys. Man, this has been a great conversation. I appreciate
How's the
everybody
chat?
in this
Are they
chat,
enjoying it?
different perspectives. Yeah, this has been great. I mean, honestly, man, I want to
Can
thank.
you hear?
Yeah, Grace, we can hear you. What's up?
So, I really wanted to share what.
Hello?
Give me a second to mute the feed.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to share what's going on in Europe and how the Black Lives Matter movement is kind of playing out here, because it's so interesting to me that, well, actually bittersweet and sad that it takes the death of a violent death of yet another Black person to get this huge response from white people, from non-Black people, and so over here in the city I'm at, there was two demos. So like one was more like talking about like an open demo against racism in general, but also justice for George Floyd. And yeah, the local Black lives community, not piggyback. I wouldn't want to say piggyback because that's kind of rude to say, but they use this as momentum to gain support. And it's, like I said, bittersweet, because this should be support that should have been there all this time. Because here in Europe, the main issue for Black people here is that they're treated as, it's the same. They're treated as criminals, assumed to be.
Right.
And a lot of them are also recent refugees that have naturalized, and they're also mixed in with immigrants that are really smart and brilliant and coming here, and they're still treated the same way. Right. And it's so heartbreaking to me to see, but also uplifting to see all this support all of a sudden.
Right.
And I'm also piggybacking on this energy, on this, this social media wave of acceptance from white people, because I've trained myself to believe that I shouldn't rock the boat. Like, I'm not going to go to talk to too much about racism and how I've experienced it in Germany, because for me, like, when I do talk about it, sometimes it gets dismissed because of white fragility or all this. And now that I see this, and now that I see other white Germans supporting this cause, I feel so much more vocal about it, like never before. Like I don't study social justice. I'm not an activist.
Right.
I wasn't before, but now I really want to use like my social media accounts are just like my personal.
Was it almost like a
accounts,
community that you experienced that you didn't even know was as passionate as you thought about this issue when they protests happen over there in Germany and all that?
Well, there was already some movement for like protesting against poor conditions in refugee camps here, because basically, they had social distancing measures put in, but they didn't do anything to keep the distance apart from people living in refugee camps. There's huge families living in cramped apartments. At some point, they couldn't eat at their canteen. They could only have cold food, and they couldn't even get access to fresh water for themselves. And so there's also support for this, but not nearly as much outreach as there was from this one event from the United States. And I see some Black Germans bitter about it, because it's like screaming like racism should matter every day.
Right.
And why does it take this American man dying, and also this kind of what I've heard been called trauma porn. This video of him.
That's an
suffocating to
interesting
death.
kind of
Why does it-
perspective from the Europe side of things.
I mean, when I heard
the sensationalism of it, you know.
You know how you were saying once the white Germans started to be more vocal about it, it kind of acted as a catalyst for you to start being vocal about it yourself, right? Like it gave you more power. Like you felt almost like there's a confirmation for you to do this. I think that's why it's important for us to speak up, because when you said, there were these protests, these demonstrations going on, but why weren't these there before? It's because people like us, that we want to speak up, but we just, we waited for that confirmation. That's why this moment right now, it's very important for people that usually wouldn't speak up to, go out the box, because that's going to influence another person that looks at you and be like, oh, I didn't even think that he's going to speak on this. And I kind of want to speak on this. And it's kind of like a contagious, instead of obligation or feeling like this is what we should feel like, it's like quitting cigarettes. Like, you can't do it when you want to do it. Like, you need to, like, you're like, right. You can't do it when someone tells you to do it. You quit when you want to do it. So, like, with this protest and with all these whatever you're trying to give out in this movement, don't do it because you feel like it's obligated, or you feel like because everyone is, you're just trying to follow the thing. I mean, deep inside and understand if you want to or not.
No, I agree, but I think the way it's taken off is making people question themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Why am I not feeling this way?
Exactly.
Or as passionate as the next man about this? And that's something you do have to figure out within yourself.
Right.
And question yourself about, your motives and your privilege and all that. Yo, Grace, thanks so much. I think we're going to wrap it up, but thank you for chiming in on the European end.
Thank you for,
Much love.
I love your music.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing this. I feel like I needed to hear more Asian, North American voices. I didn't realize this. I've been here a year and a half, and I realized I need to talk to people that I can relate to 100% without having to explain my perspective on things.
Tune in every week.
Thank you so much. Love you. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. All right.
Love you.
Bye.
Love you.
Yo, much love, man. There's a lot of positivity in these conversations we're having. Communication is key. Knowledge, resources, and please, man, do your part. There's history being made right now. Don't forget that there's history being made. Which side do you want to be? Which side do you want to be on during this part? And let's leave a legacy. That's I'm talking not even Asian, Black, whatever. This generation, let's leave a amazing legacy behind with this generation, man.
Yeah. Yo, Amber Lou is trending again on Twitter.
I feel like we're literally doing everything that was kind of roasted for this generation. I'm not talking my generation. I'm talking even younger than my generation. But people always trying to make fun of the younger generation right now, boomers and all that shit. Right. But dude, this is amazing. I went to the protests. It's like all young people, man.
Yeah. And just so we end on a clear note as well, when we say pick the side, it's not us against the police. You know what I mean? I know a lot of good policemen out there. I know a lot of people on the job.
It's not us against the police. No. I mean, it's a broken system.
It's the broken system. Yeah. So like when we see these clips online and on Twitch and all these things, we have to understand it's a very fragile situation. I am not justifying or condoning anything, but what I'm saying is we have to zoom out and see it from like a larger perspective before we start, just pointing fingers.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. We wanted to hear all the perspectives, and I think we did, and we got. There's a lot of resources in this conversation alone.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? This will be out. This episode will be out tomorrow on YouTube, and underneath it, we'll put all the proper links on how you can help, whether it's donation, petitions, and whatnot. Thank you guys so much. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Thank you to Rick Lee over here.
Yes.
Rekstizzy, Tony K.
Yes.
And specifically for my community of Asians out there, man. Us Asians here, we're for Black Lives Matter, and we will keep spreading the message. We will keep translating to those communities who don't understand. We'll provide all the materials, resources, and use our platform to spread the word.
We're not perfect, but you gotta try your best. In a situation and listen.
And that's to clarify. We want to use our platform to help. We're not the activists who's been dedicating their whole lives for this fight. You know, and let's understand. And I want to really commend the people who've been in the front line of this fight. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
Are you doing Dumb World this Friday?
I think so.
You should try to get Bam on there.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Bamboo, Rocky Vera.
This Friday, I'll try to get some real people who are knowledgeable with facts, like you know, just information, more materials and more resources. But thank you guys for chiming in. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the chat once again. Nervous, Cake Philosopher, Osifings, Dark Merrick, Yummy Brick Toast. Go protest. Go vote.
Double mask up. Coronavirus still
send out Cheetos.
Social distance. I was social distancing while
Ashley
walking.
Elizabeth, Dozel Prince, Poppy Suck, Mohani, Sophia, Steph. Thank y'all so much, man. Appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Tune in next week for another episode of Fun with Dumb. Peace.